Chapter 126. After spending so much time together, Su-Yun had long regarded Cho-Yun as a part of him. Regardless of whether she used to be the violent fox venerable or not, she was now a woman that he needed to protect, just like Ruan Qingshuang and Qin Wan. There were many things that Su-Yun could ignore, but the only thing he could not ignore was the people he needed to protect getting hurt. Of course, Su-Yun could not tolerate two men attacking a woman. Moreover, these two people were notorious for their heinous crimes. Who knew if they had done anything unforgivable to Cho-Yun? "It's you." The flowery monk suddenly cried out. Su-Yun's eyes were cold. "I let you escape 3 years ago. I'm afraid it won't be that easy for you to escape this time." The scarred clown and the leopard lady were stunned. They looked at the flowery monk. "You know each other?" "This is the person who caused me to hide under the boss's wing for 3 years. The flowery monk obviously knew Su-Yun. Back then, the people who were responsible for tracking him down were Azure Dragon and Yin Long led by Su-Yun. That year, the flowery monk was in the limelight. The dozen or so people under him were not ordinary people. In the end, all of them were defeated by the 3 of them. If he had not been quick-witted enough to crawl into the sewers, he probably would have been locked up somewhere. At that time, the flowery monk had just broken through the mental state of a first-rate master. However, in the past 3 years he had broken through 5 stages with the help of Green Ghost. He was definitely not the flowery monk who was in a sorry state back then. The scarred clown could not help but be curious about Su-Yun. Those who participated in this kind of thing were definitely not ordinary people. Could this person be someone from a mysterious department in Huaxia? But why would such a person be with the violent fox venerable? All kinds of doubts made the scarred clown even more cautious. He hoped that he was not someone from Huaxia's mysterious department. If he was, they would not be so easy to deal with. After all, even Green Ghost did not dare to fight with such people in Suang. As long as they didn't offend Huaxia's interests, didn't do anything excessive or destroy the balance of society, and stayed in the underground world, these people wouldn't do anything to them. The scarred clown was very clear about this. He was arrested because he broke the rules. For example, Cho-Yun caused a huge ruckus in the underground world, but the relevant departments did not put her on the wanted list. What he and the flowery monk did was beyond the scope of the underground world. Once they broke the balance of society, they would naturally be targeted. This penniless monk swore back then that I would definitely take revenge. "I didn't expect you to deliver yourself to my doorstep today." The flowery monk relied on the fact that his cultivation base had improved by leaps and bounds in the past 3 years. Furthermore, he had 2 experts by his side to help him. Naturally, he was filled with lofty sentiments. The leopard girl said angrily, "You are not his match." Flowery monk sneered and said, 3 years ago this poor monk fought with him. I really don't believe that he can reach the realm of a super expert in 3 years. This penniless monk will expose his facade now. A super expert? Humph, then take a few moves from this penniless monk. While speaking, the flowery monk had already raised the huge steel prayer beads and smashed them towards Su-Yun like a meteorite falling from the sky. The anger in Su-Yun's heart had already reached its boiling point. He stood up and attacked the flowery monk. With his current true chi protection, he was not afraid of the heavy weapon in the opponent's hand at all. When the fist-sized steel beads were about to smash towards him, Su-Yun directly struck them away with one palm. Taking advantage of the momentum, he punched towards the opponent's heart with a fierce wind. Seeing that her companion was about to be hit, the leopard girl jumped up high without hesitation. She gathered her strength and kicked towards the back of Su-Yun's fist. She was very clear that they could only win if they worked together. If any one of them was injured easily, it could change the entire situation of the battle. Su-Yun's fist wind was blocked, and the flowery monk was able to escape the attack. His heart instantly collapsed. He could not believe that there was actually someone who cultivated faster than him in these 3 years. The value of all kinds of supplementary pills he had taken in the past 3 years was enough to buy a house in Beijing. Flowery monk, if you act rashly, we might not even have our last chance. The leopard girl said coldly. I don't want to die here. Su-Yun stood in front of the 3 with a fierce killing intent. Although he had absolute strength in front of the 3 of them, He was very clear about how terrifying the three of them could be if they worked together. Not to mention, they definitely had the yin-yang pill that Scarlet Scorpion took. The scarred clown said calmly, "The three of us must work together. Boss has made a mistake this time. If we want to live, we have to use our brains more. Flowery Monk, I'm warning you. If you continue to be stubborn and cause trouble for us, I'll take your life first." The Flowery Monk did not buy it. "Stop talking nonsense with this penniless monk. If you have the guts, then go ahead." The scarred clown sneered. "I'll face the attack head-on. The two of you will surround me from the left and right. Remember, the opponent is a super expert. You must attack with all your strength." In the blink of an eye, the scarred clown suddenly exerted his strength and rushed toward Su Yun. He clenched his hands and two sharp daggers appeared. He could tell that Su Yun was good at close combat, so he took on the responsibility of facing the attack head-on. His weapon was a dagger. As the saying goes, an inch shorter is an inch riskier. He was the only one among the three who could fight head-on with Su Yun. Whether it was in terms of moves or strength, he was not willing to give up. The scarred clown had never shown his strength since he came under Green Demon. This time, he clearly decided to let the leopard girl and the flowery monk see his true strength. Two silver lights pierced toward Su Yun's shoulders. Su Yun did not dare to be careless. He knew very well who the opponent in front of him was. When Su Yun was first selected into the Dragon Fury team, he had heard of the scarred clown's notoriety. This guy who had once destroyed 3 big families in Tanglon City and slaughtered 164 people, had actually escaped from the Marty Franz Island prison. It was unbelievable. The moment the two of them exchanged blows, Su Yun's fists turned into palms and quickly blocked the 2 stabs. The scarred clown was indeed extraordinary. Such rapid strength was definitely at the peak of first-class experts. The flowery monk and the leopard girl were also shocked. One must know that their opponent had the strength of a super expert. The two of them definitely did not dare to face him head-on. However, the scarred clown dared to attack head-on. This kind of shock was definitely not inferior to a meteorite falling from the sky. Even the Marty Franz Island prison can't hold you, but I'm afraid you found the wrong opponent today. Su Yun said coldly. The vital energy in his body suddenly exploded. His fist was like a thunderclap that suddenly attacked the scarred clown's face. The scarred clown had predicted that Su Yun would definitely attack. So before Su Yun's punch, he had already blocked it with his short daggers in front of him. Su Yun's fist landed on the 2 daggers, but the wind from the fist still made the scarred clown's hair dance wildly. Obviously, he did not relax at all after risking his life to block the attack. Seeing that Su Yun's fist was not injured, he was shocked and quickly retreated. At this moment, the leopard girl and the flowery monk did not waste any more time. The leopard girl's palm was like an eagle's, and her palm was like a whip as she attacked Su Yun's left side. The flowery monk's pure steel prayer beads were like cannon fire as he attacked Su Yun's right side. Su Yun did not dare to take the attacks head-on even with his vital energy shield. He quickly turned around and dodged. The 2 attacks that contained a huge amount of internal energy hit the air with a boom, creating a loud noise that shook the sky. Cho Yun, who was hit by the soul-dispersing needle, frowned slightly. She seemed to have finally regained some consciousness. Just as Su Yun dodged the attacks of the leopard girl and the flowery monk, the short dagger in the scarred clown's hand was like a shooting star. It changed and shuttled back and forth as it quickly stabbed towards Su Yun's face. Su Yun reflexively raised his fist to block it. The blow was powerful and heavy. The hard and crisp heavy fist smashed into the scarred clown's heart. What a good hammer strike that shook the heavens. The scarred clown spat out a mouthful of blood as his body was thrown a few meters away. The leopard girl was shocked. If the scarred clown was injured, then she and the flowery monk would definitely not be his opponent. In a panic, she had already taken out the yin-yang pill from her pocket. If she wanted to save her life at this critical moment, she would probably have to rely on the help of the forbidden medicine. However, the scarred clown raised his hand to stop her. He coughed and spat out the blood in his mouth. He stood up from the ground with a sneer. We won. Won. The leopard girl did not understand at all. The flowery monk thought that the scarred clown had gone crazy. He had already spat out blood. How could he talk about winning? Su Yun suddenly frowned. A violent dizziness made him secretly shocked. It turned out that the scarred clown's previous move was completely a setup. He was already prepared to be hit by Lin Huang. All of this was to shoot him with the soul-dispersing needle the moment Lin Huang hit him. Su Yun did not expect himself to be careless in this area. Just now, he was only focused on dealing with the pincer attack from both sides and the frontal attack. He did not expect the scarred clown to use such a sneaky move on him. The scarred clown relied on his internal energy to protect his body to ensure that he did not suffer any serious injuries. However, it did consume too much of his internal energy. If Su Yun were to punch him again, he might really die. Su Yun finally could not resist the effects of the soul-dispersing needle's medicine. His vision turned black as he fell to the ground. The leopard girl's heart also completely relaxed when Su Yun fell. The fear on the flowery monk's face slowly turned into an evil smile. The scarred clown tried his best to calm down his chaotic state of mind that was shaken by Su Yun's punch. He said to the two, "Hurry up and tie him up. Do you want to wait for him to wake up?" Now the leopard girl and the flowery monk definitely looked at the scarred clown in a new light. He actually dared to fight a super expert head-on. This meant that his strength was not ordinary. The fact that he could still stand after being punched by Su Yun shocked the flowery monk even more. After all, if it were not for the leopard girl's help, he would not have been able to stand after being hit by Su Yun's punch. Therefore, the two of them obeyed the scarred clown's orders. "Your opponents are now us." The killing intent that suddenly came from behind stunned the three of them. The scarred clown quickly turned around and saw two figures that suddenly appeared like ghosts in the distance. Chapter 127. Cho Yun opened her eyes wide as soon as she woke up. She looked at the person who saved her in shock. "Let's talk about it after everything is over." Yin Long and Fan Shuanger did not look relaxed at all. Besides, she and Azure Dragon Qianfeng were no match for the three top fighters. Cho Yun was enlightened. She quickly got up and looked at the other party. She was shocked. The Panther Lady was in the hands of the two enemies. What surprised her even more was that Su Yun was lying on the ground not far away. He did not have any reaction at all. What happened to Su Yun? Cho Yun was shocked. Naturally, she was most concerned about Su Yun. Qianfeng sneered. "Don't worry, the boss won't die so easily. He must have fallen into their trap." I, Azure Dragon, really didn't expect to meet an old acquaintance in the little Hudong city. The flowery monk was even more certain after seeing Qianfeng. "I did not expect the violent fox venerable to find such a backer. Scar, I'm afraid we have to be careful. They are all from a military organization in Huaxia. They are not easy to deal with." Strike first. The scarred clown attacked Cho Yun with his dual blades. Qianfeng's eyes flashed coldly. In the blink of an eye, the dagger Autumn Water was already in his hand. Without any hesitation, he swung his dagger at the scarred clown. As the daggers met, the two had already exchanged more than 10 moves. "Since you want to play with daggers, why don't I play with you?" Qianfeng sneered. Of course, he knew the scarred clown's strength. However, based on the current situation, the other two girls were not as strong as him. He was the only one who could resist the scarred clown. "Then I want to see what you're capable of." The scarred clown sneered. He suddenly leaped into the air and stabbed Qianfeng's Baihui acupoint with a move of Moon in the Sea. Qianfeng did not hesitate either. He took a step back and turned around to use the divine dragon tail whip to resolve the Scarface clown's attack. Following that, the autumn water in his hand pierced towards his opponent's throat. Against such an opponent, Qianfeng did not hold back at all from the start. The Scarface clown did not slack off either. After all, he had been hit by Su Yun's palm. His heart was strong, but his chi was weak. He had missed several excellent opportunities to kill with one strike because of his injury. The fight between the two dagger experts was like a flash of lightning, leaving no room for anyone to intervene. After a few attacks, Qianfeng was able to see through his opponent's physical condition. After knowing his advantage, Qianfeng's attacks became even smoother. "Hee, let's not be idle. Another little sister has appeared. This poor monk is really lucky today." A vicious look flashed across the corner of the flowery monk's eyes. Since the fox venerable can't be touched, if this poor monk wants to sleep with this chick, you guys can't stop me, right? Hearing this, Fan Shuang was furious. She scolded. How dare you, pervert? I won't let you off today. Let me deal with this person. Cho Yun's eyes flashed with killing intent. She would definitely not let this person leave alive. The dragon's abyss in her hand seemed to know its master's anger, and let out a clear sword hum. The flowery monk danced with the pure steel dharma beads in his hand. He, no matter who it is, this poor monk will definitely have a tender heart for the fairer sex. Cho Yun was furious. The dragon's abyss in her hand was like a flash of lightning. It was as fast as lightning as the phoenix's beak was aimed at the triangular area of her opponent's face. The flowery monk did not expect Cho Yun to be so fast. He had no time to dodge and could only block with the Buddha beads in his hand. However, the dragon's abyss passed through the gaps between the beads, and was still aimed at the flowery monk's face. The flowery monk was shocked and quickly flipped the Buddha beads in his hand. As the dragon's abyss was a flexible sword, it was naturally twisted into the beads. Cho Yun could only stop. The panther lady did not say much. She suddenly jumped in front of Fan Shuang. At the same time, her fists turned into claws. The left claw pushed towards Fan Shuang's lower abdomen from her waist, while the right claw struck towards Fan Shuang's chest from her waist. Fan Shuang practiced the Dragon 8 trigrams palm. Naturally, she was able to change her footwork and look at the 6 directions. She was not inferior to the panther lady's golden panther palm. Then, she lowered her shoulders and elbow. Chi returned to her dantian. She slashed and chopped, and a tricky palm strike was aimed at the panther lady's chest. If not for the panther lady's agile movements, it would be difficult for her to dodge. While dodging, the panther lady gathered all her strength. She turned around and attacked Fan Shuang, again with the golden panther raises the sky. Fortunately, Fan Shuang's body was like a swimming dragon. Her waist was straight like an axis, and her movements were particular about twisting and turning. Although it was dangerous, she still managed to dodge the panther lady's attack. 6 first-class experts, 3 against 3. Everyone had their own unique characteristics. Moreover, their internal strength was equally matched. For a moment, no one lost to the others. Perhaps it was due to her imposing manner. Although Cho Yun was injured, she was able to use the Dragon Abyss flexible sword like the wind and water. With a single move, she forced Monk Hua to have nowhere to hide, and he could only dodge pathetically. After the panther lady's physical strength was reduced, she began to dazzle Fan Shuang, who was able to move her body and move her palms around. There were a few times when she was almost hit in the vital parts. The most tragic one was the scarred clown. He did not expect that Su Yun's punch would have such a huge impact on him. He could not successfully complete his breathing because of the pain in his chest. What he did not expect was that the kid in front of him could use a dagger so skillfully. He also had a clear understanding of the human body's vital acupoints. Therefore, he did not dare to be negligent. He knew very well that any mistake could cost him his life. After 100 moves, both of them were injured. However, Qianfeng then used his self-created move, Jingke stabs Qin. He managed to win in the midst of danger and stabbed his opponent. If the scarred clown did not use his left arm to block the attack, he would have already met the King of Hell. He was a first-class 9th rank master. Yet he was forced to this step. Of course he was unhappy. Finally he could not resist the temptation of the yin-yang pill. At the moment when the Azure Dragon backstab came, the scarred clown did not hesitate to take the forbidden medicine that he had taken out earlier. Boom. Qianfeng did not manage to stab his opponent, but was hit in the chest by his opponent's fist. That kind of strength was definitely far beyond the strength of a first-class master. Qianfeng was shocked. He knew that his opponent must have taken that kind of thing. The panther lady and the flowery monk looked sideways. They did not expect the scarred clown to be the first to take the forbidden medicine. If you don't want to cause trouble, then end it quickly. The scarred clown suddenly scolded the two. If the 3 of us can't complete this mission, do you think there will be a place for us in the Blue Ghost sect in the future? The flowery monk's face trembled. He had almost been stabbed in the vital parts by Cho Yun several times. Now that he thought about it, he should have ended the battle quickly. While he was still thinking, the panther lady had already taken the yin-yang pill in her hand. Fan Shuang'er was shocked. She knew that something was wrong. The flowery monk did not have the time to think. Both of them had already taken it. It was meaningless for him to continue wasting time. However, the moment he took out the pill, Chou Yun pierced his wrist with a light swallow. Ah! Under the intense pain, the pill in his hand fell to the ground. Chou Yun would not give the pervert a chance. She turned around and pierced the opponent's forehead with a sword. The pervert who escaped from the dragon's fury 3 years ago was finally punished on the spot. Qianfeng felt refreshed. He did not realize the danger that was coming. The scarred clown under the influence of the forbidden medicine was like a completely different person from before. His figure disappeared behind Qianfeng. Before Qianfeng could turn around, he had already been hit in the back. The overwhelming inner strength rushed out of Qianfeng's soul under the protection of his inner strength. He flew out like a kite and fell heavily to the ground. He finally understood that even if the yin-yang pill would shorten one's lifespan after taking it, it would still not stop. The instantaneous improvement it brought was simply exaggerated. Azure Dragon. Fan Shuang'er was shocked. She had just killed one of the enemy's people, but she had lost a general right after. I'm afraid you don't have the time to care about others now, right? Panther Lady's cold laughter rang in Fan Shuang'er's ears. Fan Shuang'er was shocked, but it was too late. Panther Lady gathered all her strength and punched Fan Shuang'er 3 times in a row. Fan Shuang'er hurriedly blocked with her arms. However, Panther Lady's fists blasted out the golden leopard triple cannon and sent her flying a few meters away. Fan Shuang'er fell beside the unconscious Su Yin. Fan Shuang'er's arms were seriously injured by the inner strength from blocking, as if they were broken. Under the influence of the forbidden medicine, the two of them were completely different from before. Chou Yun saw that the two of them were injured, but she did not have the ability to help stop them. The scarred clown looked coldly at the flowery monk's corpse. He thought that it was fine for such an arrogant person to die. As long as he took down all of these people, it would definitely be a great achievement in front of Green Ghost. The death of a flowery monk was nothing. Panther Lady stared at Chou Yun. As long as she dared to have any other thoughts, she would not show any mercy. Qianfeng wanted to stand up, but a surge of murderous aura surged up, and he spat out pus from his mouth. They were no match for a super expert under the influence of the forbidden medicine. If Brother Yin did not wake up now, they would probably be completely wiped out. Fan Shuang'er fell to the ground only a step away from Su Yun. She used all her strength to reach out and pinch Su Yun's philtrum, but because her arms were injured just now, she could not exert any strength at all. You still want to wake him up? Panther Lady sneered. I'll count to 3. If you still can't wake him up, then don't blame me for being merciless. Fan Shuang'er almost bit her gums to the point of bleeding, but her arms were still unable to exert any strength. It was impossible to wake Su Yun up. Even if she knew that she only needed to pinch him, she could not exert any strength no matter what. This feeling of helplessness almost made her crazy. 1. A smile had already appeared on Panther Lady's face. She knew that they had won this competition. Although they had eaten the forbidden medicine and the flowery monk had died, they could still go back and report on their mission. Fan Shuang'er wished that someone could help her now. Chou Yun's heart skipped a beat. As long as she woke up Su Yun, she would just die. Chou Yun suddenly got up and ran towards Su Yun. However, at the same time she moved, the scarred clown instantly blocked her path and pointed a pair of daggers in his hand in front of Chou Yun. I won't give you a chance, Fox Noble. You're originally from the underground world. It's much better for you to be with us than with them. The scarred clown sneered. Panther Lady had already spoken again. 2. Fan Shuang'er's mind buzzed. She suddenly thought of the only way. Without waiting for Panther Lady to shout 3, Fan Shuang'er suddenly used all her strength to pounce forward. She opened her mouth and bit Su Yun's philtrum acupuncture point on his upper lip. Chapter 128. In his dream, Su Yun and his friend Duke of Zhou were looking at beautiful girls on the side of the road. Just as he was burning with lust, his chrysanthemum tightened. A beautiful girl actually boldly ran over to give him a kiss. Su-yin had to give a passionate kiss. He directly envied Duke of Zhou to death. However, before Su-yin could enjoy the gentleness of the girl's lips, he felt a sharp pain on his upper lip. The pretty girl who was running towards him had turned into a tigress in an instant. F***ck. Su-yin woke up from his dream, only to find that it was not a dream at all. In addition to the sharp pain on his lips, there was also an indescribable fragrance that entered his nose, making Su-yin feel extremely carefree. What's up with the woman on top of me? Although he was bitten, Su-yin still felt quite happy. After all, there was a beauty in front of him, and it was not bad to enjoy it for a while. Stop that woman. When the scarred clown saw Fan Shuang'er's intention, it was already too late. He shouted angrily, and the panther girl, who was only a few meters away from Fan Shuang'er, jumped off her short horse and grabbed Fan Shuang'er's head without hesitation. Fan Shuang'er did not care about her own danger, and used all her strength to bite down. If this guy did not wake up, they would really be finished. Boom. Before the leopard girl could succeed in her attack, a pressure that blotted out the sky and covered the sun rushed towards her. Immediately after, her chest was hit by a kick that contained boundless true qi. Her entire body flew out like a kite with its string cut, and heavily fell to the ground. Everything happened so fast that no one saw when Su-yin made his move. The scarred clown was left with nothing but shock. Su-yin pouted and blew on his upper lip while hissing. My mouth is not a ham sausage. It's fine if you kiss it, but you want to bite it off. F***ck, isn't that too cruel? Even if you have never seen a handsome guy, you can't take the opportunity to bite me to death. Fan Shuang'er blushed. Before Su-yin woke up, she had hoped that he would wake up. Now that he had woken up, she really hoped that he would continue to be unconscious. Who told this guy to have such a bad mouth? The leopard girl finally understood the difference between a super expert and a fake super expert like her who relied on medicine. When the true qi completely pierced through her chest, she knew that everything was over. Once the user of the yin-yang pill was seriously injured, the side effects of the medicine would begin to corrode their body. This was because the injured person would no longer be able to control the medicine. They could only let the medicine continue to expand in their body until the user could no longer bear it. The leopard girl's body shrank into a ball. The painful expression on her face made people tremble in fear. The pain of her meridians exploding was unbearable for her. The scarred clown was shocked. He knew the strength of a supermaster very well. He had seen a supermaster go crazy in the prison of Marty Franz Island. That kind of suffocating feeling was definitely not something a first-rate master could withstand. It was not that easy to survive now. It was probably impossible to escape. The scarred clown had a terrifying thought in his heart. Now he only had a chance of surviving if he held one of the other three hostage. F***ck. Boss is still the most ferocious. Qianfeng wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He really did not expect Fan Shuang'er to be so ferocious. She could not even lift her arm, and directly used her mouth to bite. She had the face of a goddess but the aura of a tough woman. Sigh, it was all the Dragon Brigade's fault. The scarred clown made up his mind and directly attacked Qianfeng's back. As long as he captured a hostage, he would have a higher chance of escaping. Su-yin did not hesitate to attack Qianfeng. After all, they were brothers who had worked together for many years. How could Qianfeng not know what Su-yin wanted to do? With their high level of tacit understanding, he did not care about the scarred clown's attack from behind. He did not even try to dodge. Instead, he threw himself forward and lay prone on the ground. The scarred clown was shocked when he saw the double blade attack. Qianfeng had just thrown himself to the ground when the wind from Su-yun's fist rushed towards him. The scarred clown did not even have a chance to fight back. Su-yun's fist moved like a drawn bow. His body was filled with strength like a drawn bow. Then all the strength accumulated in his body was transferred to his fist bones and released with a loud bang. The scarred clown's originally ugly red nose was deeply dented into his face. The strength of this punch was so strong that Su-yin could feel the tremors on his fist. After all, the scarred clown was a top-tier expert. His strength was far greater than Scarlet Scorpion Leopard Lady and the others. Therefore, even if he was hit by Su-yun's fist, he still managed to withstand it. However, he swore that this was the most ferocious Baji fist he had ever seen. Su Yun's punch was sudden and fierce, catching him off guard. The unstoppable momentum completely suppressed the scarred clown. The explosive strength was like an explosion in the air. The scarred clown, whose mouth, nose, and eyes were covered in blood, took a dozen steps back. Even though he was 10 meters away from Su Yun, he still gave up the idea of escaping. With such a difference in strength, there was no way he could escape. If he tried to escape again, he was afraid that only death would await him. He did not have the confidence to take another punch from Su Yun. I admit defeat, but can you give me an explanation? The scarred clown threw the dagger in his hand to the ground. I'm an escapee. You must know the rules of Mardi Franz Island's prison for serious criminals. If I go in again, I'm afraid I won't have the chance to come out again. I just want to know who sent me in for the second time. Su Yun smiled slightly. Of course, he would not pursue a person who had lost his fighting spirit. Since the other party had given up, there was no need to kill him. It might not be a bad thing to let Azure Dragon bring him back to gain merit. You've investigated this place. Don't tell me you don't know that my name is Su Yun? Of course I know. I'm just curious about your identity. The scarred clown's meridians trembled. He almost spat out a mouthful of blood. He suppressed it because he knew very well that if he could not suppress it, he would not even have the strength to stand and speak. He was not the only one who was curious. Cho Yun, who was standing at the side, was also very curious. Su Yun had never told her about his identity, although she was now certain that Su Yun's identity was definitely not simple. You want to know who our boss is? Qian Feng snorted coldly. There's no harm in telling you. After all, you'll know who we are when you go back with me. My boss is the captain and instructor of our Dragon Brigade's Dragon Fury team, Yanlong. The Dragon Brigade's Dragon Fury team? The scarred clown trembled. His nerves were indeed stimulated. Of course, he had heard about the Dragon Fury team. Many of the serious criminals who were locked up in Mardi Franz Island's prison for serious criminals were sent in by the Dragon Brigade. Cho Yun could not help but widen her eyes. He was the legendary Yanlong. There were a lot of legends about Yanlong in the underground world. Especially after the earth-shattering incident a year ago, Yanlong's name had completely shocked every master in the underground world. No wonder he was so powerful. He was Yanlong. Cho Yun smiled bitterly. She had long heard that Yanlong was not only powerful, but also a super pharmacist who was proficient in medicine. No wonder he could give her the 9 Revolutions Soul Return pill, as if it was a powerful pill. Cho Yun would never have thought that she, the violent fox master of the underground world, would be saved by the former captain and instructor of the Dragon Brigade's Dragon Fury team. Moreover, he had been helping her. If this were to spread, who would dare to believe it? All right. What's the point of saying so much? It's all in the past. After all, I'm the former captain. Don't show it off. Su Yun waved his hand and said to Qianfeng, don't make a fuss. Fan Shuang, struggled to stand up from the ground. She felt indignant. She did not expect the former captain to be such a jerk. When she thought of what this guy had said to her, it's fine if it's just a kiss, she was furious. The scarred clown raised the corner of his mouth and smiled bitterly. Since I was defeated by the former captain of the Dragon Fury team, I accept it wholeheartedly. You can do whatever you want with me. Qianfeng stepped forward and suddenly slapped the scarred clown's back. 2 needles pierced his Shinto and Lingtai acupoints, completely sealing the scarred clown's inner strength. This way, he was no different from an ordinary person. Then he handcuffed his hands behind his back. Similarly, Qianfeng also sealed the Panther Girl's inner strength and handcuffed her to the scarred clown. I'll contact the police to deal with this. I'm afraid I'll have to trouble the police to send these 2 people back. Qianfeng looked at Fan Shuang, and turned to Su Yun with a cheeky smile. Boss, I'm afraid Yanlong won't be able to leave for a while. I don't want to bring a burden back. Hee, I'll have to trouble you. Su Yun looked back at Fan Shuang, whose face was full of scram. It would not be easy to treat her injuries. Okay, I'll take the 2 of them. I'll leave this place to you. Don't involve the police. After all, I'm already retired. I understand. Qianfeng grinned and nodded. Then he said to Fan Shuang, "In Long, hurry up and go back with the boss." Fan Shuang did not intend to listen. "No need. I won't let others take care of my injuries." Fan Shuang still blushed when she saw Su Yin. She hadn't forgotten her unromantic and unreliable first kiss. It was her first intimate contact with a man, and it was in such a situation. How could she feel comfortable? Of course not. Su Yin was stunned. This stubborn girl was really hard to deal with. "If you don't want to be disabled, you'd better let me take a look. Being hit by Leopard Lady's Golden Leopard triple cannon is no joke. If you don't treat your hands in time, I'm afraid they'll really be crippled." Fan Shuang was shocked. She wanted to raise her arms to prove that she was fine, but a tearing pain made it difficult for her to raise them. This time, Fan Shuang panicked. "You? Who are you lying to? Don't think that. I'll be afraid just because you said it so seriously. It's up to you whether you believe me or not." Su Yin shrugged and spread his hands. "Anyway, it has nothing to do with me. Whether you come with me or not, it's up to you." Chou Yan walked over to Fan Shuang, sighed and said lightly, "I advise you to believe his words." Qianfeng also whistled and laughed. "If your hands are crippled, you can retire early. Ha ha ha, find someone to marry early." Chapter 129. Su Yin believed in Qianfeng's ability to handle things, so he didn't bother with him anymore. He just looked at Fan Shuang, and said, Hey, can you walk on your own? You don't need me to carry you, right? I'm not as weak as you think." Fan Shuang glared at him. Chou Yan didn't say anything. She just followed Su Yin silently. Qianfeng quickly threw the car keys to Su Yin. Fan Shuang's current state would definitely worsen her injuries if she walked back. After all, this stubborn girl wouldn't admit that she was injured. Su Yin didn't refuse. He asked where the car was and went to get it. Although it was late when the three returned to the medicinal cuisine restaurant, Guan Qingshuang and Guoguo were still awake. After all, there were outsiders in the restaurant and Tang Jiu couldn't drive them away. Guoguo was very helpless. Fortunately, Qin Wan'er came back and excitedly told them what happened after the auction. Everyone listened attentively to Qin Wan'er. They knew that the guy who bid 200 million ran away. This was great news for Guoguo. It meant that the restaurant didn't sell. If the restaurant didn't sell, it meant that Feng Guoguo still had a chance to be the owner of the restaurant. A second auction was bound to happen sooner or later. Seeing Su Yin come back, the people in the room were shocked. The three people who came back were rolling on the ground, especially the girl they didn't know. Her hands were hanging down, and she looked listless. "Dad, Sister Chou Yan, what happened to you?" Guoguo couldn't understand the situation. "Who did you wrestle with? And Dad, why did the woman you sent away come back by herself? She stayed in our restaurant and didn't leave. You didn't do anything to her, did you?" Ruan Qingshuang was surprised. "Su Yin, Chou Yan, why were you out for so long? What the hell happened?" Who is this?" Qin Wan'er frowned. "You didn't fight with someone, did you?" Tang Jiu seemed to be the only one who didn't fully understand what was going on. She was indeed more knowledgeable than the other three. She could tell at a glance that the three of them were definitely extraordinary experts. "I'll explain this to you guys later. For now, give me a room. This girl is injured. If you don't help her deal with it, she'll probably be able to sign up for the Paralympic Games tomorrow," Su Yin said casually. "Let's go to my room," Chou Yan said. She knew how to repay kindness, so she led the way. Fan Shuang didn't refuse and quickly followed. She didn't expect there to be so many people in the medicinal cuisine restaurant, and they were all women. Only Su Yin was a man. When she came to eat in the medicinal cuisine restaurant the other day, she didn't see Qin Wan'er and Tang Jiu, the two beauties whose figures were so much better than Sister Budo's. This place was really full of women. But Fan Shuang didn't say it out loud. She just thought it in her heart. No wonder the former instructor of Dragon's Fury, a super expert, was willing to stay in such a small restaurant. It turned out that there was something fishy going on. Anyone from Dragon's Fury probably wouldn't want to leave. They were a group of guys who hadn't seen women since they were young. Fan Shuang or didn't have much confidence in her appearance. She felt that everyone here was extremely beautiful. They were definitely prettier than her. Even in Dragon's Fury, she was the pearl in their eyes. There were so many beauties here. Wasn't this a paradise? Guogua looked at Cho Yun in surprise. This wasn't her style. Dad, who is she? Guogua pointed at Fan Shuang, who followed Cho Yun into the room. There's still one at home who can't be explained clearly. You brought another one back? You really don't take mom and sister Won'er seriously. Don't you know they'll be jealous? Guh. Ruan Qingxuang's threatening voice sounded behind Guogua. Guogua hurriedly ran to Su Yun's side. Did I say something wrong? I really got shot while lying down. Guogua, the next time you hurt the innocent, I'll trample on you. Qin Won'er gritted her teeth. Su Yun looked at Tang Jiu with a bitter smile. Didn't I tell you to go back? Why did you come back? Tang Jiu didn't avoid Su Yun's gaze. I was just worried that after you were taken away by that woman, there would still be danger in your medicinal cuisine restaurant. Although Ruan Qingxuang, Qin Won'er and Guogua didn't understand what Su Yun was being taken away by that woman, they still listened very carefully. Especially Guogua, she didn't even blink. She listened very carefully. Even if you stay, what can you do? Can you change your mind? Su Yun was helpless. This woman was really crazy. She clearly knew that there could be danger, but not only did she not run, she even walked right into the trap. If I leave, I'll be too disloyal, Tang Jiu said. I know you guys are in trouble, but I can't leave on my own. I can't do that. You're too loyal, aren't you? Su Yun smiled. Okay, you're very loyal. Tang Jiu shrugged. Since there's nothing else, I'll leave first. I won't see you out, Guogua said to send her off. Su Yun didn't have the time to send her off. Take care on your own. Although it's very late, I really can't send you off. It's not that I'm disloyal, but someone is injured. The injured are more important. I understand. Tang Jiu wasn't angry. She left the medicinal cuisine restaurant gracefully. Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Won'er looked at each other. The two of them looked at each other. They didn't understand how the woman who snatched the hotel with them became friends with Su Yun. After Tang Jiu left, Guogua said to herself, Dad, if you don't explain things clearly, I'm afraid we'll be completely lost. At this time, Cho Yun walked out of her room and said to Su Yun, If you don't want her to be disabled, then hurry up. Su Yun stood up and walked to Cho Yun's room. Guogua said unhappily, Dad, you haven't explained to us clearly. Don't you have classes tomorrow? Cho Yun looked at her questioningly. Guogua stuck out her tongue and ran into the room. Ruan Qingxuang smiled guiltily. She was so focused on listening to Qin Won'er's chatter that she didn't notice the time. It was her fault that Guogua hadn't gone to bed at this time. Seeing that Cho Yun was angry, she hurried into the room with Guogua. Qin Won'er saw that there were only two of them now. She hurriedly pulled Cho Yun to her room. What's wrong? Cho Yun was slightly stunned. Who's that woman? Qin Won'er asked curiously. Cho Yun said, Su Yun's friend. When can he have such a friend? How do you know her? I think you look very embarrassed. What happened? Qin Won'er asked a series of questions. Cho Yun didn't know how to answer. After a moment of silence, Cho Yun shook her head and answered Qin Won'er's questions. Qin Won'er was speechless. Seeing that Cho Yun was about to leave, she pulled Cho Yun and said, Why did the girl from the auction come to our medicinal cuisine restaurant? Shouldn't I ask you this question? Cho Yun said, When we came back, didn't you have a good chat? Qin Won'er's expression was strange. How could they have a good chat? That girl and Guogua would quarrel after a few sentences. They didn't agree on any topic. Cho Yun didn't waste any more time with Qin Won'er. She directly turned and went to take a shower. Qin Won'er sighed, but Cho Yun didn't want to gossip with her. She completely ignored her. Seeing that Cho Yun went to take a shower, and Ruan Qingxuang and Guogua went to bed, Qin Won'er curiously tiptoed to Cho Yun's room. She wanted to know who the ponytail girl was. Eavesdropping wasn't peeping, so it shouldn't be illegal. Take off your clothes, Su Yun said casually, as if he was talking about drinking tea and eating. Fan Shuang didn't understand it so easily. She stared at Su Yun as if he was a monster. She nervously asked, What do you want to do? How can I do it if you don't take off your clothes? Su-yin frowned. I can just roll up my sleeves. Fan Shuang-er's expression was still nervous. I don't need to take off my clothes, do I? Qin Wan-er, who was lying at the door, felt her blood boil. What was going on? Why did she have to take off her clothes as soon as she went in? Su-yin was too impatient. She didn't expect him to be so flirtatious behind their backs. No, she couldn't listen to this anymore. Qin Wan-er was afraid that it was inappropriate for children. She fiercely despised Su-yin, and then quickly left. After all, Cho-yun would catch them in the act after taking a shower. Only your arm is injured? You don't have any injuries on your body? If that's the case, you don't have to take off your clothes. Su-yin was a little disappointed. Fan Shuang-er stared and rolled up her sleeves. Although it was only a slight touch, it was still unbearable. She didn't expect the Panther girl's hand to be so heavy. What else do you want me to do? Am I not miserable enough? You can only blame yourselves for being nosy. Speaking of which, why did you and Azure Dragon come back to Hudong? Su-yin heard that Qin Wan-er had left outside, so he held up Fan Shuang-er's arms. They were swollen like this. The injury was really serious. Fan Shuang-er's arms were pinched by Su-yin. She frowned and said softly, "It hurts. Endure the pain. You can only blame yourselves for being nosy." As Su-yin spoke, he began rummaging through his backpack that contained hundreds of treasures. The items inside were definitely rare and precious medicines. If it weren't for us, I'm afraid you would have been killed by them. Fan Shuang-er stared and said, "You don't know what's good for you?" Su-yin smiled and said, "Kill me. It's better than having my lips almost bitten off. Don't pretend to be innocent after taking advantage of me. If it weren't for the crisis at the time, I wouldn't have done it even if I died." When Fan Shuang-er heard Su-yin bring up this matter, she immediately became anxious. In her anxiety, she pulled her arms, causing her to grimace in pain. "Su-yin, if you dare to speak of this matter, I will definitely kill you." Su-yin took out a bottle of huangbone pills and threw it to Fan Shuang-er. You should say this to Qianfeng. Who can I tell? Chapter 130. What is this? Fan Shuang-er frowned as she held the yellow bone pill. It's for internal consumption. The leopard fist used by the leopard lady focuses on the 5 fingers like steel hooks, strong and fast. You're lucky to have met me. Otherwise, even if your arms weren't crippled, they wouldn't look good in the future. Su-yin frowned as he looked at Fan Shuang-er's arms. It'll be troublesome if they swell like an elephant's leg. Fan Shuang-er was a girl, and all girls love to be beautiful. Even if her arms became like an elephant's leg, she didn't want to live anymore. Fan Shuang-er had heard many legends about the former leader of Dragon's Fury. He was known as the super genius pharmacist of the Dragon Brigade. If it wasn't for the fact that he was a martial artist, he might have already become a pharmacist. Then why don't you hurry up and treat me? Fan Shuang-er was a little anxious. Aren't you also known as Dragon's Fury's miracle doctor? Hurry up and think of a way. Su-yin pointed at the small bottle in her hand. Didn't I give you the pill? This is a treasure. I wouldn't give it to ordinary people. Fan Shuang-er hurriedly opened the bottle. A strong and pungent smell rushed out. Wasn't it too unpleasant? You're giving me this? Fan Shuang-er suspected that Su-yin was deliberately pranking her. This thing isn't expired, right? Su-yin shrugged. If you don't believe me, you don't have to eat it. When Azure Dragon comes back, let him take a look and see if he will snatch it from you. If it wasn't for the fact that I was worried about your arm bones, I wouldn't give it to you. At most, I'll just apply some heavenly fragrance ointment. Heavenly fragrance ointment. Fan Shuang-er was stunned. That was a holy medicine for external injuries. No matter if it was a bruise or injury, it could be cured immediately. She didn't expect Su-yin to carry such a precious thing with him. Fan Shuang-er didn't stand on ceremony and stretched out her arms. Just give me the heavenly fragrance ointment. Su-yin searched his bag for a long time, but couldn't find it. Finally, he realized that when Chang was injured, he seemed to have used it on him. I don't think I used it. Hey, you really hurt my feelings. Fan Shuang-er was so angry that she put down her hand. Can you do it or not? Why do I feel that you're becoming more and more unreliable? Soo-Yun glared at her. Don't say that men can't do it. While speaking, Soo-Yun had already grabbed Fan Shuanger's arms. Just as Fan Shuanger was about to resist, she felt a special true qi gently caressing her injured muscles. It was a very comfortable feeling. Could it be that he was using his true qi to heal her? Did he want to expel the cold and strain in her body? This was definitely not something an ordinary person could do. One had to be proficient in the meridians and acupoints of the human body. Otherwise, it would be easy to cause secondary damage to the person. Now Fan Shuanger completely believed in Soo-Yun's medical skills. Tell me why you came back, Soo-Yun said as he used his qi to help Fan Shuang, or heal her injuries. When we went back, we only told Master about you. Fan Shuanger felt that there was nothing to hide. After he learned about the situation, he immediately concluded that you were in trouble, so he wanted us to return quickly. Before that, he already knew that Green Ghost had brought people to River East, so he concluded that it was because of Scarlet Scorpion. Soo-Yun frowned. In other words, Dragon's Fury's people have already interfered with the Green Ghost sect's matter. Why didn't they send out the entire sect to eliminate him? Fan Shuanger shook her head. We did plan to do that before, but Green Ghost is not easy to deal with. He's either in a crowded place or in a hidden place, so we didn't make a move. First, we were afraid of hurting the innocent, and second, we were afraid of increasing unnecessary losses. I understand. Soo-Yun laughed bitterly. It seems like you guys have told him about my breakthrough in the Heart Realm. Yes, Master already knows that you've broken through and entered the ranks of first-class experts, Fan Shuanger said. Then she asked curiously, didn't you leave Dragon's Fury to break through your mental state? Now that you've done it, why don't you go back? Go back? Soo-Yun smiled slightly. If it was just for this, he wouldn't have left Dragon's Fury to come to such a small city. There were too many things that were unclear, and Soo-Yun didn't plan to explain. But Soo-Yun knew very well that Master must have known that he was involved in this trouble, so he directly threw this matter to him. In any case, Master knew that he had broken through his mental state, so he wanted to let him experience it. If it was just for experience, it would be fine to ask him to help solve the problem, but he actually threw a burden to him. Soo-Yun was really helpless. If he wanted a helper, he only needed Green Dragon. Why did he send this newcomer who had just taken over Yinlong's position? Soo-Yun said to himself. Old man Wang Yi, this idea of yours is really killing two birds with one stone. Not only will you let me experience it, but you also let me help you take care of the newcomer. You're happy and relaxed. Aren't you afraid that I'll be crippled by Green Ghost if I mess it up? A warrior who didn't experience a real battle of life and death wasn't a qualified warrior. Obviously, Fan Shuanger was thrown here to experience such a battle of life and death. This was only the first head-on confrontation, and she was almost crippled. Wang Yi didn't say anything else? Soo-Yun raised his eyebrows. Didn't he ask you to be obedient? Fan Shuanger's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This guy actually dared to call her master's name directly. It was simply impolite. Fortunately, her master wasn't here. If he really heard it, he would be furious. Speaking of which, Fan Shuanger really didn't make some things clear. This time, when she and Green Dragon were arranged to come here to help Soo-Yun, Wang Yi did tell them very clearly that even if Soo-Yun was no longer the former instructor of Dragon Fury Team, Yinlong, they had to act according to Soo-Yun's wishes. Regarding this, Qianfeng certainly didn't have any objections. Even if Wang Yi didn't want him to be obedient, he would absolutely obey in front of Soo-Yun. Soo-Yun was the only boss he recognized in his heart, and the only person he worshipped. I don't remember so much. Fan Shuanger glanced down and said vaguely, Master only said that even if you leave Dragon's Fury, you are still Yinlong. Soo-Yun understood in his heart. Alright, since the old man has already arranged it, I can't drive you back. However, the medicinal cuisine restaurant has limited rooms. If you want to stay, you will have to bear with it. You don't mind sharing a bed with me, right? What? If Fan Shuanger's arms weren't injured, she would have already slapped him. Soo-Yun said to himself. As for Qianfeng, he will have to bear with it and sleep on the floor. Cho Yun suddenly pushed the door open and pointed at Fan Shuang'er, directly breaking Su Yun's plan. She can stay in my room. What about you? Su Yun's heart was surging. Could it be that the Frosty Fox noble suddenly had a spring? Could it be that she had decided to replace Fan Shuang'er to warm his bed? Wait, Su Yun quickly shook his head. This kind of fantasy was absolutely impossible. I will sleep on the sofa. Cho Yun's answer was very decisive. Obviously, she was already prepared to do so. Fan Shuang'er hurriedly shook her head. No, Azure Dragon and I have already booked a room not far from here. We have a place to sleep. The two of you? One room? Su Yun enviously asked. Fan Shuang'er stared at him. Of course, 2 rooms. Su Yun took advantage of the moment when Fan Shuang'er was distracted and suddenly squeezed a stream of true qi directly to the most seriously injured part of Fan Shuang'er's arms. Fan Shuang'er almost shed tears from the pain. If Su Yun's words had not distracted her, she really doubted that she could bear this kind of pain. However, after the unbearable pain passed, her body relaxed. Fan Wushuang couldn't believe her eyes as she looked at her swollen arms. She lifted them up and found that the heaviness from before was gone. And the pain had also completely disappeared. Remember to eat the yellow bone pill. Su Yun reminded her again. Don't treat that thing as a treasure. Fan Shuang'er really didn't intend to treat it as a treasure. Who would eat such a smelly medicine? Yellow bone pill? Cho Yun couldn't help but be surprised when she heard it. You actually have such a thing? This is a pill with a sky-high price. This is a pill that can improve the toughness of one's bones after consumption. How did you get it? Su Yun smiled slightly and said to Fan Shuang'er. It seems that I really shouldn't have given you the pill. You don't know what's good for you, so I'm afraid you won't remember me. Why don't you return it to me? When Fan Shuang'er heard it, she directly opened the bottle and poured a yellow bone pill into her mouth and swallowed it. Cho Yun's lips opened slightly. She was speechless. She didn't say she was going to steal it from her. Su Yun was speechless for a while. Then he gave her a thumbs up. I forgot to tell you. If the yellow bone pill is not taken with water, it will easily make the user feel uncomfortable. As soon as he finished speaking, Fan Shuang'er felt like she was burning with desire. She felt like her body was on fire, and she desperately needed someone to put it out. Cho Yun also sighed. It seems that the yellow bone pill's special effects are not nonsense when taken with water. Coo 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 coo. Suddenly, the sound of a horned owl came from outside the medicinal cuisine restaurant. The third note was a rising note, while the rest were flat notes. Obviously, this wasn't a forest. Of course, there wouldn't be any owls here. Su Yun knew that Qianfeng was outside. So he walked to the window in the corridor and responded to him with the sound of a horned owl. Coo coo coo. This was the communication code between the members of Dragon's Fury in the jungle. Different sounds had different meanings, depending on the length, pitch, and frequency. Just now, Qianfeng's sound meant that he was looking for his companions, and Su Yun's reply was to ask him to come up directly. Qianfeng heard it and jumped directly to the 2nd floor of the medicinal cuisine restaurant. Boss, how's Fan Shuang'er's injury? It's no big deal now, Su Yun said. Come to my room. I have something to ask you. Chapter 131. After a long night of conversation, Su Yun had a rough understanding of the current situation. Originally, Feng Qiansui had single-handedly controlled Su Hong's underground world, and had always maintained a proper balance. However, due to Green Ghost's interference, Su Hong's underground world had already become extremely chaotic, which was why it had alarmed the relevant departments to intervene. Due to the fact that their identities couldn't be made public and they couldn't let too many innocent people get involved, the relevant departments didn't have a very good solution. Divine Dragon Force's Lieutenant General Wang Yi knew that Azure Dragon and Yin Long had met Su Yun in Hudong City. Moreover, Su Yun was also involved with Scarlet Scorpion. He quickly understood that Su Yun, this troublesome fellow, must have been involved in this underground world's power struggle. Therefore, Wang Yi made a prompt decision. He wanted to let Su Yun use this matter to gain merit. This way, it would be beneficial for Su Yun to once again return to the Divine Dragon Force and continue to be the instructor of the Dragon Fury team. He was very clear that ever since Su Yin left the Dragon Fury team, the members of the team weren't completely convinced by the new instructor. After all, Su Yin was a veteran who had been immersed in Dragon's Fury for more than 10 years. Perhaps only he, Yin Long, could subdue that group of unruly fellows in Dragon's Fury. However, no one knew how Su Yin was doing right now. He indeed wanted to go back, but every time he thought of this problem, he would feel conflicted. Since he had no choice but to leave at that time, why would he go back? What was the reason? How could the always arrogant Su Yin accept it? Afterwards, Qianfeng, with the help of Su Yin, opened up 2 weak meridians. When a few streams of internal energy surged out from his dantian, Qianfeng instantly felt that his body was filled with power. The feeling of advancing made him excited. Su Yin then passed on the breathing method to Qianfeng. Qianfeng knew that if he persevered, he might not be far from the peak of the 9th step. Perhaps one day, he would be able to break through his mental state like his boss and step into the realm of a true master. A super expert. This was such a tempting realm. Experts who had truly stepped into the door knew this. Moreover, the higher the level of an expert, the more they understood what it meant to be a super expert. After experiencing today's battle, Qianfeng was even more eager to become a super expert. When the 3 of them were defeated by the enemy under the influence of the forbidden drug, Su Yin showed the true strength of a super expert. In the next room, Chou Yun and Fan Shuanger were also up all night. As for what they were talking about, Su Yin had no idea. After one night, Qianfeng would never have thought that his boss, Su Yin, would actually live in such a beautiful place. If he lived here, he would definitely be so happy that he would forget about home. No wonder his boss had broken through his mental state and did not mention anything about going back. However, his master did not seem to mention anything about telling Su Yin to prepare to return to the army. Qianfeng did not ask about this. Firstly, he did not dare to ask. Secondly, he did not have the right to ask. Dad, isn't your taste too heavy? Guogua looked at Su Yin with a face of surprise as he came out of the room with a man. Moreover, the man was so tall and sturdy. No matter how you looked at it, he was the top type. Could it be that her father was the bottom type? Thinking of this, Guogua felt a chill all over her body. Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Waner also looked at Su Yin with a face of suspicion. Why did he not even say anything and leave a strange man to spend the night in the medicinal cuisine house? It was known that although they closed the door when they went to sleep at night, they did not have the habit of locking the door. If some illegal person came in and slept in a daze at night, what would they do if something irreparable happened? Su Yin had already seen through Guogua's thoughts from her eyes. Instantly, he felt his chrysanthemum tighten. This little girl was too evil. He quickly explained to Ruan Qingxuang and Qin Waner, "Cough. This is my friend, Qianfeng. He came to Hudong to do something." Ruan Qingxuang was much more enthusiastic than the others. She even knew how to say hello. The others' reactions were not very natural, especially Guogua. She seemed to dislike Qianfeng. "Who are your friends?" Qin Waner frowned. "I think I really need to check their IDs." After Qianfeng saw Qin Waner, he said excitedly, "The violent policewoman really lives up to her reputation. No wonder Chief Chen thinks so highly of you." Qin Waner's eyes almost popped out. "You know Chief Chen?" Qianfeng laughed. "How would I dare to speak if I didn't know Chief Chen? Chief Chen also knows that Fan Shuang, and I came to Hudong." By Chief Chen also knows, he was referring to the incident with Red Scorpion. Anyway, Chen Wei did not know that they had left. No matter what Qianfeng said, it would not be exposed. Last night, Su Yin told him not to call them by their code names. After all, Ruan Qingxuang and the others did not know much about them. Qin Waner suddenly understood. Could it be that Chief Chen said that the person sent by the higher-ups was... Oh my god, no wonder he also knew Su Yin. Qin Waner finally had a whole new level of respect for Su Yin. It's a secret mission of the organization. I can't explain it to you. I'm sorry. Qianfeng was like a little lamb in front of Qin Waner. F***CK, Su Yin really wanted to slap him. A secret mission of the organization? If he continued, he would reveal everything. Sigh, Qianfeng, you really haven't seen a woman. Fan Shuang, Speechlessly pushed open Cho Yun's room and walked out with Cho Yun. This caused even more waves in the medicinal cuisine restaurant. Guogua clenched her small fist. This society was too scary. Her father was gay, and Cho Yun's sister was a lesbian. How could she live? Without waiting for Guogua to speak, Cho Yun directly sealed her mouth. Hurry up and get ready to go to school. Don't forget that today is Monday. Guogua secretly turned her head and stuck out her tongue. So what if it was Monday? Miss Su was one of them. For Guogua, it did not matter what day of the week it was. Going to school and staying in the restaurant were her world. Since she was a guest, Su Yun and Ruan Qingshuang naturally had to do their part as hosts. The sumptuous breakfast made Guogua exclaim in surprise. As usual, Su Xiaoran came to pick Guogua up. Although Cho Yun did not let Su Yun send Guogua off. In order to express her gratitude for that matter, Su Xiaoran still came to pick her up as usual. As the biggest beneficiary, Guogua of course would not refuse. She was now a celebrity in school. Everyone knew that Guogua had a good relationship with the teachers, and she also had such a big shot mother. Therefore, Guogua's popularity in Hudong City was no less than the Silver Gun Little Tyrant's popularity in Beijing's Haidian district. What officials and rich second generations were nothing in front of Guogua. Guogua was the famous second generation of the school. She was more awesome than anyone else. The Hudong City Police Station already knew about yesterday's matter. When Chief Chen found out that those people yesterday were Red Scorpion's accomplices, he was shocked. He never thought that Hudong City would become a place of dispute for the underground forces. Of course, the news had not reached Green Ghost's ears. If he knew that he had just left Hudong City and lost 3 generals, his lungs would probably explode from anger. Cho Yun also heard from Fan Shuang, last night. After knowing that Green Ghost was overturning rivers and seas in Suang, she clenched her fists. How she wished she had the ability to topple Green Ghost right now. Since the matter had been thrown to Su Yun naturally would not sit idly by. However, Suang was such a big place. With his strength alone, how could he take it down? After breakfast, Su Yun took the two to the side and sat down. Liang Shan and LV Winnie had both come to work. There was no need for him to interfere with the work in the shop. Su Yun was very idle now. Unless there was a chance to take down that hotel, he would really die of boredom. Since the two of you have been arranged to go to Hudong, it's best that you don't go against the will of the host. No matter what happens, you have to listen to my arrangements. Don't act on your own. Su Yun said faintly. Tianfeng, I don't need to say much to you. I just need you to look after your newbie, and don't let her cause any trouble. Boss, don't worry. Fan Shuang is very obedient. If I say 1, she won't dare to say 2. Tianfeng said with a smile. Usually you just treat us as if we don't exist. If there's any action or mission, just tell us. Master said that our lives are in your hands. Fan Shuang glared fiercely at Tianfeng. Don't be so self-righteous. I will listen to Su Yun's orders, but don't you think you can order me around? There is no superior and subordinate relationship between us. Comrade Major, please remember that I am a colonel. Tianfeng shrugged and said, you can talk to me like that when you become a senior colonel. Otherwise, you should think about how many ranks there are between the two of us. Humph. Of course Fan Shuang was not convinced. She just didn't do as much as they did. Sooner or later, she would surpass them. Although she was only a major now, after this mission, she would be qualified enough to be promoted to lieutenant colonel. She was only 1 step away from colonel. When that day comes, I will teach you a lesson. Su Yun smiled bitterly. Can you two keep a low profile? They didn't take him, a major general, seriously. Today Dan Jiahao came with Wolfberry. When he saw Su Yun talking to someone, he didn't ask for credit. Instead, he obediently handed the Wolfberry to Ruan Qingshuang and went out to pick up the vegetables. This kid had been angry with Liang Shan and said that he would do all the work of carrying vegetables himself in the future. Shanzi didn't argue with the kid and went out with him. Su Yun pursed his lips at the two people. That big guy was definitely a good seedling when he was young. Now he can fight a third-rate master without a problem. I can see that. What a pity, Tianfeng said. Now even if he can get a glimpse of the door, He can only be a muscle and a rubber band forever. That's not bad. Su-Yun smiled. Do you think that you have to use your internal energy to solve everything in society? Haha, you are scaring people to death. Fan Shuang, couldn't sit still. You two are just chatting? How do we deal with Green Ghost? Su-Yun's lips curled up slightly. A newcomer was a newcomer. She couldn't keep her cool. Are you stupid? Qianfeng said helplessly. Where are we going to find Green Ghost now? Shuang is so big. Not to mention the three of us. Even if there are 10 more, it won't be easy to find. Why did the master give the mission to our boss? Don't you know? Because he is someone from the Green Ghost Association who took the initiative to come to us. Chapter 132. Fan Shuanger stared at Su-Yin for a while. She couldn't help but wonder why her master trusted this person so much. Even if he used to be Dragon's Fury's instructor, he had been away from the army for so long. Could he really do it? Fan Shuanger, this brother has advanced again, Qianfeng said with a proud smile. He raised his eyebrows and said provocatively, 7th order? Didn't you say you wanted to surpass me? Then give it a try. Or are you trying to fool? Fan Shuanger rolled her eyes at Qianfeng. She knew how difficult it was for a first-rate expert to take another step after reaching the 5th order. This was why she found it so difficult to take another step after reaching the 5th order. The same thing happened to Chou Yun. Chou Yun took 2 years to reach the 5th order from the 4th order. Now she hadn't made any progress in the past year. It had already been a year since Qianfeng entered the 6th rank. He was still a person with a relatively high bone frame and potential. Breaking through to the 7th rank was just a matter of yesterday, and it was with the help of Su-Yun. Qianfeng's smile was as proud as it could be. Do I look like a liar to you? Do you think I slept with the boss for nothing last night? I'm not like some people who don't strive to improve. What do you mean? Who are you talking about? Fan Shuanger glared at Qianfeng and looked at Su-Yun curiously. Was this guy really that powerful? However, she couldn't help but admire Su-Yun. At least, her arms were injured so badly, but he was able to heal them so easily. Could it be that he really helped Qianfeng to advance? This kind of thing was too tempting. Fan Shuanger's eyes lit up as she thought about it. If she could also advance to the next level, wouldn't she be looked up to by those fellows when she returned? Su-Yun suddenly felt a chill on his back. Fan Shuanger didn't intend to be polite and said directly, Su-Yun, you can't just help Qianfeng and not help me. Since you helped him advance, what about me? His advancement is his own business. What does it have to do with me? Su-Yun was really helpless. He had only made it in time. Even if Qianfeng had not advanced yesterday, he would have completed it in a month or so. It had nothing to do with the set of breathing techniques that he had imparted to Qianfeng. It could only be said that Qianfeng was too smart. Fan Shuanger could not believe it. She stood up and said, even if you know each other, you can't be so biased. I'm also a member of Dragon's Fury. Why can't you help me? Su-Yun was speechless. Can you keep your voice down? Are you afraid that others don't know who you are? Qianfeng silently regretted it. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have blindly shown off. Although he and Fan Shuanger weren't old partners, they had known each other for a long time. He knew how stubborn this girl was. Once she decided on something, even 18 oxen wouldn't be able to pull her back. Now that Fan Shuanger had made it clear that Su-Yun was the most direct reason for Qianfeng's advancement, she was definitely going to stick to him. Wan Qingshuang couldn't understand what they were talking about. She looked at Su-Yun and his two friends with interest. Su-Yun was becoming more and more mysterious, and she was getting more and more out of hand. Dan Jiahao was so curious that his heart was itching, but he didn't dare to go forward and ask. He really wanted to know what the Dragon's Fury they were talking about was. It sounded awesome no matter how he heard it. Although Dan Jiahao was so anxious that he couldn't sit still, he finally endured it. After all, Su-Yun hadn't formally acknowledged him yet. Then come upstairs with me. We'll talk alone. Fan Shuanger naturally wouldn't give up. Qianfeng quickly helped Su-Yun out. Fan Shuanger, you have to think clearly. The price I paid was to sleep with our boss. If you really want to give yourself to him, I won't stop you. Fan Shuang'er's face turned red. What kind of fetish was this person? Get lost. Su Yin scolded. Don't try to act cool in front of me. What nonsense are you spouting? Go wherever you want to go. If I could make anyone advance by sleeping with me, then I'd really be a national treasure. I wouldn't be able to sleep all day. Fan Shuang, or don't listen to his nonsense. Qianfeng was determined to find something for Su Yin to do, so he recited the chant Su Yin had taught him yesterday. If the heart wants to be calm, it must first heal the eyes. The eyes are the master of the mind. The mind travels in the eyes and works in the heart. Therefore, the eyes are suppressed, and the heart returns. Fan Shuang. If you really want to advance, you'll have to learn from our boss. Fan Shuang. Listened to such a reasonable chant, and didn't doubt Su Yin's ability. Say it. What are your conditions? Su Yin wasn't stupid enough to let go of his leisure days, and find such a troublesome thing to do. If Fan Wushuang, really reached the point of advancement, then so be it. But what if she didn't have any reaction at all after following him around for 3 to 5 days? She might even think that he was taking advantage of her. 100 million. Su Yin did not hesitate and directly stated the price. Just rob a bank. Fan Shuang, really wanted to slap him to death. Su Yin shrugged. That can't be helped. Unless you give yourself to me. If you don't help me, then fine. I'll tell the Hudong City Police who you are. Humph. Even if we leave in the future, they'll still come to you for help. Fan Shuang thought of a good idea to threaten Su Yin. You choose. Either you help me, or you'll be in trouble in the future. A woman's heart is the most poisonous. Su Yin was defeated. He really wanted to kick Qianfeng. If it weren't for him, Fan Shuang wouldn't have made such an unreasonable request. I can help you, but you have to think it through. If I have any requests and you don't cooperate with me, then I can't help you. Qianfeng was laughing so hard that his eyes disappeared. When he advanced yesterday, Su Yin helped him stabilize the Shinto and Lingtai acupoints on his back. This required him to take off his clothes. He was just trying to trip Fan Shuang up. Anyway, there was nothing to do before Green Ghost came to the door. Fan Shuang didn't know so much. She was a new horizontal. In order to advance, she was willing to pay the price. It must be known that she was the weakest in Dragon's Fury, although many people said that she was a girl after all, and that it was already very impressive for her to reach this step. Fan Shuang was not convinced. She didn't believe that she couldn't beat them. Although Fan Shuang had just joined Dragon's Fury, she also grew up in the Dragon Squad. It was just that her place had nothing to do with Dragon's Fury. Because of the adjustment last year, Fan Shuang was arranged to join Dragon's Fury because of her good aptitude, becoming the first female member of Dragon's Fury. Seeing Su Yin bring Fan Shuang upstairs, Wan Qingxuang felt a little sour in her heart, but she still believed that Su Yin wasn't that kind of person. Since she didn't understand, it was better not to interfere. As Su Yin went upstairs, he said, after a long time of practice, the mind will become unmind, and the intention will become unmind. This will allow the mind to rest greatly, reaching the state of no thoughts and no desires. The mind will be clear, and it will lead to advancement. You should understand this principle. If you don't, it won't be easy for me to teach you. Of course, I understand this principle. Fan Shuang nodded. You want to tell me to guard my dantian when I breathe, and only use my dantian to breathe. It's neither here nor there, neither there nor there, right? Su Yin gave her a thumbs up. I really underestimated you. Not bad. Then show me, and let me know where your weak meridians and acupoints are. Fan Shuang was shocked. The weak meridians and acupoints would vibrate slightly during this kind of breathing. She knew this very well, but she also knew that this slight vibration couldn't be seen through her clothes. In other words, if she wanted Su Yin to find her weak meridians, she had to take off her clothes. Why do I need you to know where my weak meridians and acupoints are? Fan Shuang's heart tightened, and her hands unconsciously pinched her collar. You asked me to help you, I didn't force you, Su Yin said. If you think I asked you to do this to see you, then pretend I didn't say anything. Even if you use your toes, You should understand that if I don't know where your weak meridians and acupoints are, how can I know how to help you? Fan Shuang didn't speak, biting her lower lip and lowering her head. No one knew what she was thinking. You can reach the realm of a first-class master, so you should be very clear about it. Every time you advance, what hinders you? Su Yun smiled slightly. You can't determine where your weak meridians and acupoints are right now. What I can help you with is nothing more than giving you an appropriate upgrade in your weak meridians and acupoints. If you are really at the point where you are about to break through like Qianfeng, I may be able to help you. But if you are still far from it, then I can only say sorry. This gamble was a bit too big. Fan Shuang's heart was in a mess. Listening to Su Yun's words, he didn't mean that he could help her advance, but he could definitely help her find her weak meridians and acupoints. But the price she had to pay was to take off her clothes. After all, there was a difference between men and women. Su Yun shrugged his shoulders. It's not too late to regret it now. I thought you already knew this, but you insisted on doing it. It seems that you don't know. I advise you to take it slowly. You will break through sooner or later, so there's no need to rush. Besides, there are so many men in Dragon's Fury. A girl like you doesn't need to intervene too much. You don't need to be too harsh on yourself. As soon as she heard Su Yun's words, Fan Shuang's eyes became more determined. When she first entered Dragon's Fury, she heard many people say the same thing. They all said that it was because she was a girl that she was so and so. So what if she was a girl? She was not willing to lose to anyone, especially in a place like Dragon's Fury. It seemed that she would always be at the bottom. Fan Shuang thought it through. If she could break through with the help of Su Yun, it would be best. If she couldn't, then she could also know where her weak points were. In the future, when she breathed, she could cultivate her weak points. This way, she would be less of a hindrance to her advancement. I insist. Fan Shuang steeled her heart and walked directly into Su Yun's room. At most, she would close her eyes and pretend that nothing had happened. Chapter 133. Fan Shuang was about to break down. Even if he had to do this, he didn't have to be so straightforward. Did he have to let everyone know? 3 minutes later, Fan Shuang's soft voice came from Su Yun's room. You can come in. Su Yun's lips were dry, and he said nervously, Then I'll really go in? You really won't regret it. You really won't call me a pervert? You talk too much nonsense, don't you think? Fan Shuang said impatiently. In the end, Su Yun decided to follow Lei Feng's example, and pushed open the door to his room with the spirit of helping others. Fan Shuang's smooth back was reflected in Su Yun's eyes. Her pure ponytail swayed behind her back, making her look even more pure. The graceful and beautiful woman's figure was so beautiful, revealing her charming back. That was even more graceful and flirtatious. The most basic level of appreciation for beauties was the face, and the more advanced ones would pay attention to the body, such as big breasts, big buttocks, long legs, and so on. At a higher level, at Su Yun's level, one had to be able to understand the beauty of a woman's back. The beauty of a woman's back was subtle and thought-provoking. The moon was over the branches and she was naked. A woman's back was the most powerful weapon to extend the tentacles of sex. Oh my God! This was the gap between them. Yesterday, Qianfeng's back was covered in scars compared to this young lady's back. The difference was like heaven and hell. The difference was too big, and there was no way to compare. If he had to compare, Su Yun would definitely give Fan Shuang full marks without hesitation. Fan Shuang closed her eyes and did not say a word. She tried to calm her mind and not think about how she was facing a strange man so openly. Perhaps only in this way could she accept Su Yun's scrutiny of her. Just treat me as if I don't exist. According to your own understanding. Guard your profound will in your dantian, and only use your dantian to breathe. It's neither here nor there, neither here nor there. Su Yun also rubbed his temples forcefully. It was too easy to be distracted. Su Yun pinched his nose again. He was not Lu Xiaohui, and he could not be as calm as her. He had to wake up. He could not just look at her naked back and forget his purpose. What was his purpose? Wasn't his goal to see such a beautiful woman who was as smooth and flawless as a piece of white jade? F***ck, if he did not pull his attention back, he would be in trouble. Soo-yun took a deep breath and suppressed his dantian. Fortunately, his willpower was high, and he had experienced the temptation of a naked Cho-yun once, so he could endure it now. Fan Shuang'er calmed her heart and breathed, gradually allowing her mind to enter a stable state. Finally, she calmed down and completely offset the influence of Soo-yun beside her. Soo-yun was not careless. Since he could not help her advance, he should at least let her know where she needed to cultivate. Generally speaking, the weak points of most people's meridians were the main acupuncture points on the back of the Du meridian. For example, Qian Feng's weak points were the Shinto and Lingtai acupuncture points. What Soo-yun did not expect was that Fan Shuang'er's Du meridian, starting from the Yamen acupuncture point on the back of her neck, all the way to the Shinto, Lingtai center, and Mingmen acupuncture points, showed no signs of weakness. Could it be that her weak meridian was the Run meridian in front of her body? That would be too embarrassing. Soo-yun swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Forget it, since he had already reached this step, he would just have to suffer a nosebleed. Anyway, Fan Shuang'er had completely entered a state of selflessness, and he did not know how to appreciate her. In the end, Soo-yun decided to help her to the end. Since he had already started learning, he could not give up halfway. When Soo-yun looked directly at Fan Shuang'er, even though he had prepared himself 1,000,000 times, his blood rushed to the top, and he almost spat out blood. This was too exciting. This was clearly a temptation for him to commit a crime. Fan Shuang'er was really the best in the world. From the back, her attractive back made people think that she was very pure. And from the front, her big breasts had the domineering aura of a monarch. She did not lose to the big-breasted brainless Qin Waner in the slightest. Soo-yun could only suppress a few more times to ensure that he continued to help Fan Shuang'er find the weak points of her meridians. The Run meridian and Du meridian were two steps that a martial artist had to break. As a first-class expert, they had to break the Run meridian and Du meridian. However, Fan Shuang'er's Zigong, Tanzhong, Zhongting Yutong, and all the way to the Shenkei, Qihai, and Sherman acupuncture points above her Ren meridian did not have any weak points. Just as Soo-yun frowned, he suddenly found that the Qi acupuncture point below the Simon acupuncture point on the Chong meridian was slightly pulsating. If Fan Shuang'er's meridians were weak here, it would be troublesome. Although the 8 extraordinary meridians were different from the 12 meridians, they followed different paths. However, the Chong meridian was a meridian that regulated the blood and qi of the 12 meridians. It was also called the Sea of Meridians. Therefore, if Fan Shuang'er's meridians were weak here, it meant that her 12 meridians were simply unable to bear the pressure brought by her body. Soo-yun could not help but frown. It seemed that this girl really could not bear the harsh training of Dragon's Fury. Although Fan Shuang'er did not admit it, she had always used her superhuman perseverance to persevere through Dragon's Fury's harsh training. However, she did not hide her aura. Generally speaking, for people who had reached this level of cultivation, their weak meridians were usually above the Ren meridian and Du meridian. Even if there were, it would not be on the Chong meridian. After knowing Fan Shuang'er's weak point, Soo-yun circled back to her back and gently pushed the body pillar acupuncture point in the middle of her shoulder. A stream of true qi flowed into Fan Shuang'er's body. Fan Shuang'er's originally calm state of mind was suddenly shaken by this strong true qi. She opened her eyes abruptly, not understanding why Soo-yun would use true qi to help her clear the things caused by the strain. This was simply a waste of true qi. This kind of strain only needed to be recovered normally. However, she had to admit that after being cleared out by Soo-yun's true qi, her whole body was really as light as a swallow. The moment Soo-yun stopped, Fan Shuang'er also could not wait to turn around. How was it? Did you find my weak point? What should I pay more attention to in my future cultivation? Soo-yun's eyes were instantly attracted by Fan Shuang'er's protruding chest, and a hot stream surged in his nose. Fan Shuang'er suddenly remembered that she was not wearing clothes, and her face suddenly turned pale. She was so excited that she completely forgot about this. She did not care if Soo-yun looked and quickly covered her body with clothes. After all, if she scolded Soo-yun now, it would seem that she was burning the bridge after crossing the river. You turn around. After thinking about it, Fan Shuang'er could only order Su Yin like this. Su Yin was afraid that the girl would flip out, so he had to turn around. I know why you haven't advanced for so long. Really? Fan Shuang'er was quite excited when she heard this topic. Every day, she hoped to advance as soon as possible and get rid of the title of Dragon's Fury. Your weak point is the Chong Meridian. Su Yin tried to make his voice sound calm. Sure enough, Fan Shuang'er was stunned. What did you say? Chong Meridian? That's right. Su Yin explained. Your 12 standard meridians are your weak point. You can't bear the harsh training of Dragon's Fury, but you still have to grit your teeth and persevere, so for a long time, your 12 standard meridians have been damaged. Of the 8 extraordinary meridians, you can only focus on the 12 standard meridians, and have no chance to improve yourself. I can bear it. Although Fan Shuang'er did not admit it verbally, she had to admit that the training load of Dragon's Fury was really not easy for her to bear. She exhausted all her strength almost every day to endure breaking through her limits. Although it was said that humans could not break through their limits, it was a kind of damage to Fan Shuang'er's body every day. If you can bear it, this situation will not happen. Su Yin did not show any mercy. Whose idea was it for you to enter Dragon's Fury? Did Wang Yi want you to be a test subject? I did it willingly. Fan Shuang'er said angrily. Everything was as Su Yin said. When Fan Shuang'er entered Dragon's Fury, Wang Yi did agree, but Wang Yi denied it before. He said that a woman's body could not bear the training of Dragon's Fury. However, Fan Shuang'er refused to admit this. In the end, Wang Yi explained everything to her. If she could not bear it, she could withdraw at any time. Although Wang Yi accepted Fan Shuang'er, he did use her as an experiment to see if a woman's body could withstand this kind of extreme training. However, even Wang Yi did not expect Fan Shuang'er to persist with her perseverance. In fact, her body could not bear the training of Dragon's Fury. This was also why Wang Yi was surprised. He did not expect Fan Shuang'er to persist in Dragon's Fury for a year. Of course, Fan Shuang'er also played a role in Dragon's Fury. When the men saw that a girl was so tenacious, no one complained. Even the current captain of Dragon's Fury, Shadow Dragon, was surprised. Since Su Yin left, the fighting spirit of the boys was ignited again. Haha, Dragon's Fury is blessed to have you join Dragon's Fury. Su Yin smiled slightly. He could even imagine the positive energy that Fan Shuang'er brought to Dragon's Fury. No wonder Qianfeng's progress was so fast. It turned out that he was afraid of losing to a girl. In this way, Dragon's Fury was a group of boys who did not want to admit defeat. No one would be willing to lose to a girl. When Fan Shuang'er heard Su Yin's praise, she could not help but blush slightly. After all, this man was the former instructor of the Dragon Fury team. He was a man that everyone in Dragon's Fury, including the current instructor, Shadow Dragon, admired. Su Yin said apologetically, I'm sorry that I couldn't help you break through. I've disappointed you, but I still want to give you some advice. You can only participate in 80% of Dragon's Fury's training. I don't mean anything else. I just want you to go a little further. Fan Shuang'er suddenly felt that Su Yin's image was much higher than before. He was completely different from the unreliable or wretched man she had given him before. As expected of the legendary Yan Long, even his words were so charming. Chapter 134. Can you leave first? Fan Shuang'er snapped out of her daze, but she was still concerned about her clothes. But before Su Yin could leave, someone was already at the door. The sound of hurried footsteps and Qianfeng's panicked voice frightened Fan Shuang'er, who was in the room with her clothes in a mess. Don't stop me. Sister Frost said I could come up. What right do you have to stop me? Who are you? What's your relationship with Su Yin? How do you know he can't be disturbed? Get out of my way. Hey, what do you want? Are you going to move away or not? Be careful, don't touch me. If you touch me, I'll shout that you're a hooligan. Anyway, my clothes have your fingerprints. The girl's voice was like an oriole, but her aggressive manner was really tough. Qianfeng's voice was obviously aggrieved, and it sounded like he was on the losing side. Miss, can't we be reasonable? I have my reasons for not letting you go up. You insisted on bumping into me. I can't do anything about it. This is what you. Fine, 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 I beg you. I beg you. Please be magnanimous. Wait a moment. My boss really has something to do in his room. Get out of my way. Whether he has something to do or not, I can decide for myself. As she spoke, the voice was getting closer and closer to Soo-yeon's door. Soo-yeon's mind was also in a daze. What the hell was this? Didn't Tang-gyo leave? Why was he here so early in the morning? Wasn't this haunting ghost too much? F***ck. I'm not related to you in any way. Why are you looking for me? Soo Yoon-jin really wanted to die. If Tang-gyo were to break through the door, then it would be like yellow mud falling into his pants. Even if it wasn't sh**t, it would still be sh**t. It was impossible to explain. After all, Fan Schwanger's clothes were disheveled, and she was on his bed. There was even his underwear by the window. No one would believe him. Soo-yeon could only pray now. He prayed that Chien-feng would not drop the ball at this critical moment. If he did, then he would be in big trouble. He had to stop him from breaking into his room. Before Soo-yeon could finish praying, Tang-gyo had already broken through the door. Clang. After the sound of the door opening, there was an awkward silence. Tang-gyo's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. No wonder this person was trying so hard to stop him. It turned out that Soo-yeon was doing this kind of shameful thing in here. She was wondering why the person who stopped her couldn't give a reason. It turned out that he couldn't open his mouth. Yo, Soo-yeon, you're quite romantic. The weather is so good this morning, and you're doing this in the house? Tang-gyo's eyes were filled with disdain, and his voice was full of disdain. Wow, you just caught a girl last night, and you're already sleeping with her. You're really fast. Soo-yeon's Adam's apple moved. What the F***ck was this? Even when he was studying Lei Feng and doing good deeds, he was misunderstood. But there was no way to explain this. He could only glare at Chien-feng and scold him in his heart. You little bastard. How can you not even do such a simple thing? F***ck. After all, Chien-feng was Soo-yeon's follower for many years. He understood his boss's thoughts at a glance. The 1.8-meter-tall man felt wronged. Boss, how would I know that you guys didn't lock the door before doing this? I thought she couldn't open the door. What the F***ck? Soo-yeon really wanted to vomit blood. It was fine if you didn't open your mouth. Now that you opened your mouth, there was no way to explain. What do you mean by this thing? What the F***ck are you doing? You clearly know what you're doing. Why can't you explain it clearly? I'm helping her find her weak meridians and acupoints, not doing that kind of thing. All of you get out. Fan Shuang finally broke down. She was the most embarrassed one now. She wasn't even dressed yet, and these 2 men and 1 woman were chatting in front of her. Obviously, they didn't care about her at all. Soo-yeon could only brace himself and walk out. He closed the door for Fan Shuang and said to Tang-gyo, "Is there anything you need? If you want to eat medicinal cuisine, there's some downstairs. You don't have to come up here. It seems that I've disturbed you. I'm really sorry." Tang-gyo's words were obviously sarcastic. "Since it's not convenient for you, tell me a time when you're not busy. I'll come and find you. Then I'm really sorry. I'm quite busy every day. I have to send off all the guests at 9 p.m. Soo-yeon wasn't joking at all. Although he didn't know why Tang-gyo was looking for him, he really didn't want to get into any trouble. Before Green Ghost's matter was completely settled, he didn't have the time to be distracted. Tang-gyo was agitated by Soo-yeon's words. Her chest heaved up and down, but she still suppressed her anger and said to Soo-yeon, "Okay, then I'll come and find you at 9 p.m. sharp." Soo-yeon really didn't have any other ideas. If she wanted to come, then come. After all, he had already given up and didn't care about anything. He knew very well that Tang-gyo didn't come to the temple for no reason. Otherwise, with her temper, how could she keep suppressing her anger and speak so gently to him? Tang-gyo left in a carefree manner without any temper. Chien-feng even suspected that this young lady, who was so majestic and imposing just a moment ago, had been bewitched. The saying "one doesn't come to the temple for no reason" was very reasonable. Since Tang-gyo had a request, of course, she wouldn't have the same attitude as Soo-yeon. After witnessing Soo-yeon's strength, she made a decision. As long as she could get Su-yun's help, all difficulties would no longer be a problem. After watching Tangjiu leave, Qianfeng poured a glass of water for Su-yun. Boss, you're really something. What kind of girl-controlling heart sutra did you practice? Not only are all the people around you top-notch, but there are also people who came from afar. You just asked them to leave and they left. That's too obedient, right? Are you stupid? Su-yun glared at Qianfeng. Can't you tell? I can tell. Boss, you're high-end and classy. You're low-key and luxurious, so it's reasonable that some girls like you. Qianfeng thought that his flattery was very accurate. Who did you learn it from? I'm also bold, unrestrained, deep, crazy, cool, and awesome. Is that useful? Su-yun laughed bitterly. Can't you tell what her motive is? Do you think that a little queen who has been pampered since she was young and has grown up surrounded by everyone has the right to be as docile as a kitten to me? Is that possible? Qianfeng didn't think so. It can't be helped. Boss, you're just so manly. That's what she likes. Su-yun was very self-aware. Come on, don't flatter me. Do you think I don't know what I'm capable of? A girl like Tangjiu has seen all kinds of men. The number of men chasing after her is probably more than the number of people in the entire Divine Dragon unit. I'd better save it. It's definitely not a good thing for a girl like her to come to me for help. Qianfeng finally thought it through. Boss, what should we do? Do nothing. Su-yun really wanted to knock on Azure Dragon's head. If I don't agree with her, it's fine. Anyway, she can't put a knife to my neck. I don't have the time to care about other people's business. I've already quit Dragon's Fury. That old man Wang, he still has the nerve to throw this on my head. Can't you see that I'm ready to get married and have children and live a good life? You still have the nerve to trouble me? Qianfeng laughed. Master said that you'd definitely say that. But he also said that this matter has already fallen on your head. Even if we don't look for you, the trouble will come to you. We're here to help you. F***ck. Do I need to ask you for help? Look at what you've done for me. Su-yun pointed at the room. Just now she even blamed me for this. What will people think of me? Will they think that I'm some kind of thirsty pervert? You don't want to help her anyway. That's good. Qianfeng looked and squinted. Boss, what do you think? How's Fan Shuang'er's figure? F***ck off. Although Su-yun cursed, he couldn't help but praise her in his heart. Her body was definitely not ordinary. Fan Shuang broke through the door and glared at Qianfeng. She knew that this bastard was up to no good. When Qianfeng saw Fan Shuang come out, he immediately shut his mouth. He was afraid that Fan Shuang would swallow him alive. Su-yun also quickly found an excuse to go downstairs. It was too dangerous. Who knew when the tigress would suddenly explode? For Su-yun, it was very dangerous for a woman to know martial arts. He had almost died in the hands of a woman before. Qianfeng saw that his boss had left and quickly followed. If he didn't leave quickly and the tigress really went crazy, he really didn't know what to do. Following his boss was definitely the right thing to do. Su-yun was very happy to have a free handyman in the shop. Wan Qingshuang was surprised to see Qianfeng do things so quickly. Without mentioning anything else, Qianfeng carried 2 bags of rice with one hand as if it was nothing. This guy shocked Dan Jiahao. He didn't expect there to be such a fierce person besides Brother Yin. Moreover, Qianfeng called Su-yun boss, which increased Dan Jiahao's worship of Su-yun. Dan Jiahao wanted to get some information about Su-yun from Qianfeng, but of course, Qianfeng didn't tell him the truth. He directly bragged about Su-yun as Superman and Iron Man, who saved the world. After a busy day, Chou Yun and Guoguo were sent back by Su Xiaoran. Wan Qingshuang didn't ask Su Xiaoran to stay for dinner. She said that she still had a lot of homework to correct, and she didn't have time. If she wanted to eat another day, she would come directly to the door. After sending off Su Xiaoran, Qin Wan'er came in. As soon as Qin Wan'er entered the door, she grabbed a glass of water from Su Yun's hand and poured it into it. With a serious face, she announced a shocking news. Someone bought the Hudong International Hotel in the morning. As soon as Qin Wan'er said this, Guoguo was petrified. She was so unwilling. This was an item that didn't get sold at the auction. It was reasonable to say that it should be sold again. How could it be bought suddenly? This person had a lot of connections. Chin Won-er continued to reveal. Guess who bought the Hudong International Hotel? Chapter 135. Chin Won-er took a deep breath and said seriously, "It's Tang Jiu who came to our restaurant yesterday. That's the woman. I was wondering why she came to our restaurant. She must have a purpose." Guogua and Chin Won-er shared the same hatred. It's Tang Jiu. No wonder I felt something was wrong with her. She really has a problem. Humph. This princess hotel was snatched away just like that. Too hateful. Ruan Qingshuang stroked Guogua's angry face. Things that don't belong to us will never belong to us. We didn't have enough money to buy it, right? So even if we didn't get it, we didn't lose anything. We lost a lot. Guogua had an aggrieved look on her face. Her original plan had been completely disrupted by Tang Jiu. Of course, she felt uncomfortable in her heart. The next time she saw that Tang Jiu, she would definitely make things difficult for her. Su Yin raised his hand and pinched the bridge of his nose. He asked, "When did it happen?" Chin Won-er looked at the ceiling and thought for a while. Around 9 to 10 in the morning. She was finishing the final procedures of the villa, and then bought the Hudong International Hotel. Tang Jiu came to the medicinal cuisine restaurant to find Su Yin around 11, which meant that she had bought the Hudong International Hotel. Su Yin didn't understand. If Tang Jiu had something to ask him, why would she compete with him for the hotel? Could it be that Lu Sheng had taken the hotel from the Tang family? That shouldn't be. Tang Jiu was from the provincial capital, Jibei City. She shouldn't have anything to do with Hudong City. How much did she pay? Guogua asked nervously. She didn't want to let Tang Jiu take advantage of her. Obviously, everyone was concerned about this topic. 100 million. I don't know who she talked to. Anyway, no one wants to spread the fact that the hotel was bought and no one paid for it. So we just let it go. Chin Won-er said, 100 million is still acceptable. Guogua clenched her fist. How can you do this? I paid 100 million. If she wanted to buy it, she would have to pay at least 20 million more, right? No, I have to talk to the leader. Chin Won-er was speechless. Little ancestor, can you not make trouble for me? If it wasn't for someone bidding at that time, you would have been screwed if you really bought it. Where would you get so much money? Ha! Guogua rolled her eyes. Anyway, it's none of my business in the end. Heaven helps the worthy. Big Sis Frost. There are too many guests and there are no more seats. Do you want to talk upstairs? LV Winnie walked to their table and said. These people were so engrossed in their conversation that they didn't even care about business. Upon seeing this, Ruan Qingshuang hurriedly chased them away. Go, go, go. Go and help. We'll talk about it when you're done. The group of people scattered. Those who were supposed to work went back to work, and those who were supposed to collect money collected money. After Guogua ate something, Cho Yun took her upstairs to do her homework. There were too many people in the restaurant, so Su Yin asked Qian Feng and Fan Shuang to go back to the hotel room they had booked not far away. After all, there were enough people in the restaurant and they didn't need to help. In the evening, just as the last customer left, Tang Jiu appeared at the door of the restaurant. In the afternoon, the restaurant was still talking about Tang Jiu because she had bought the Hudong International Hotel. Unexpectedly, she appeared in front of everyone. Guogua's eyes turned red when she saw her enemy. She pouted, glared, put her hands on her waist, and said in a bad mood, Oh, I was wondering who it was. So it's the old witch. You didn't come here at this time to eat, right? Ha! Humph, you want to show off, right? I'm sorry, I don't care. It's just a hotel. It's going to be bad in the future. You'll lose 100 million if you buy it. Ruan Qingshuang hurriedly pulled Guogua to the side. This little girl's mouth was really mean. No matter what, he was still a guest. Moreover, Tang Jiu, who could casually take out 100 million, was definitely not an ordinary person. Ruan Qingshuang said embarrassedly, She's just a child who doesn't know anything. I didn't say anything. Guogua rolled her eyes. Ruan Qingshuang had no choice but to look at Cho Yun for help. Cho Yun understood Ruan Qingshuang's meaning. She said to Guogua, Guogua, follow me upstairs. I don't want to go up. I want to see this old witch's face. Guogua was not convinced. Tangjio was speechless. Guogua finally couldn't take it anymore. When she lost her temper, it wasn't easy to provoke her. Little kid, don't interrupt when adults are talking. Go, do what you need to do. Qinwan was curious about why Tangjio came to the medicinal cuisine restaurant. She also knew a little about Tangjio's background. When did the 9th daughter of the Tang family become interested in Hudong City? Is it because the Tang family's business is so big that Jibei can't hold it anymore? Is it because they want to expand their influence to the counties below? Isn't it just buying a hotel? What's so great about it? Dan Jiahao had dreamed of being the boss of the logistics department at Hudong City International Hotel. Knowing that this woman was the one who destroyed his dream, of course he was not happy. Su Yun glared at him. Get out of here when you get off work. Don't let your brother think that I'm abusing child labor. Go do what you need to do. Dan Jiahao quickly shut up and stepped aside. Since Brother Yin had spoken, there was no place for him to speak. However, he did not leave obediently. Instead, he hid near Liangshan and LV Winnie to eavesdrop. They were curious about the background of this generous lady, so they were not in a hurry to get off work. Tangjio, if you want to eat medicinal cuisine, the restaurant welcomes you at any time. Su Yun finally spoke. But if you have something else to do, I'm afraid we can't help you. Hearing Su Yun's words, Tangjio refused to say anything. I haven't said anything yet. Why are you in such a hurry to reject me? Su Yun did not beat around the bush. Everyone knows that one doesn't visit a temple without a reason. There's no need for us to beat around the bush. It's better to be straightforward. Don't waste time beating around the bush. It's meaningless to anyone. Tangjio's face darkened. She did not expect Su Yun to reject her before she even opened her mouth. However, she was still confident. Don't you want to hear my conditions? Su Yun shook his head. Since I don't plan to help you, why should I ask for conditions? Guogua's eyes rolled quickly. She had already realized that this old witch had something to ask of Su Yun. Old witch, do you think my father will help you with your attitude? Humph, dream on. You want us to help you after robbing our hotel? No way. This is the condition I can give you. After Tangjio finished speaking, she threw a folder on the table. She was confident that the conditions she offered were tempting enough. Looking at the stack of documents, Guogua suddenly lost interest. She thought that Tangjio would generously take out a check and then say, "You can add as much as you want." That way, Guogua would definitely fill in 100 million, and see what she would do. If she accepted 100 million, then Guogua would immediately change sides and stand on the witch's side. 100 million was worth it even if she sold her father. I don't know what you want me to help you with, but I really don't have time to help you. I can't even deal with my own problems. Don't do something so unreliable. Su Yun sighed. I've made myself clear. You should give up now. Tisk, who would help you if I don't give you something substantial? Guogua was speechless at Tangjio's insincere behavior. Tangjio was not discouraged. If you don't look at it, how do you know if my condition is sincere enough? I don't ask for anything casually. If I didn't show you 100% sincerity, I wouldn't be standing here. Finally, Guogua couldn't help but pick up the folder on the table. There was a contract printed on A4 paper. Guogua sucked in a cold breath when she saw the first line. Holy *T, this is too sincere. Guogua almost went crazy. Such a huge temptation was not something an ordinary person could accept. Seeing Guogua's expression change, Cho Yun was a little surprised. She knew that ordinary things would not move Guogua's heart, unless it was very special, or something that Guogua really wanted. Ruan Qingshuang looked at Guogua's excited expression and couldn't help but look over. She was even more shocked. She couldn't help but exclaim, "Oh my God!" Su Yun's heart tightened. Looking at this situation, Tangjio's sugar-coated bullets were very powerful. It could make them all change their expressions. What? Qinwan couldn't sit still. She quickly came over to join in the fun. She was completely stunned. It was too big. Are you serious? I've seen generous people, but I've never seen someone so generous. Are you sure you're not here to trick us? Hearing Qin Wan'er's surprised voice and praising expression, even Liang Shan, a calm person, couldn't sit still. His curiosity made his heart itch. Dan Jiahao was even more anxious. He was afraid that Su Yin would be angry, so he didn't dare to go over. Tang Jiu's expression was very serious. Of course not. If I were here to trick you, I wouldn't have brought the contract. Su Yin, as long as you sign, the Hudong International Hotel will be yours. As soon as these words were spoken, it was as if 5 bolts of lightning had struck them, directly shocking Liang Shan and Dan Jiahao to the point that they almost fainted. Su Yun's brain was even bigger. Such generous conditions meant that the things he wanted in exchange were definitely more than that. He was very clear that no one would give you benefits for free. I've already signed the contract and pressed my fingerprint. Tang Jiu was definitely not joking. I'll give you the Hudong International Hotel. I just hope that you can help me. I think that I've already stated the conditions. If you don't agree, I won't force you. Chapter 136. Su Yin wasn't a saint. Naturally, he would be tempted. However, what he could take and what he couldn't take was another matter. What if he accepted the benefits but couldn't complete the request? As the saying goes, one shouldn't accept a reward for nothing. How could it be a simple matter for Tang Jiu to take out a hotel worth 100 million yuan? Moreover, it was something that she had her eyes on. After all, Su Yin wasn't confident now. If he had to do something that required him to risk his life, he definitely wouldn't play. If he created a fierce person like Green Ghost, then the gains wouldn't make up for the losses. Just as Su Yin was thinking about how to completely reject this matter, Guoguo's words completely crushed Su Yin. Dad, I'll sign it. Guoguo took out a pen from somewhere and directly signed the document. The hotel would belong to whoever signed it. This little demon was simply snatching it from others. Looking at Guoguo seriously signing the 2 words Su Yin was speechless. Guoguo, you're in trouble again. Ruan Qingshuang wanted to stop it, but it was too late. Guoguo had already taken over Tang Jiu's signature. After it was done, Guoguo was naturally proud. She didn't spend a single cent, and the hotel was hers. Dad, there's no way to reject it now. What request does Sister Little Jiu have? Just agree to it. Anyway, I've already signed it. What the heck? Wasn't this attitude changed too fast? Previously, he was still calling her an old witch, but now he was calling her little sister Jiu. This money-grubbing little thing betrayed Su Yin without even asking any questions. Tang Jiu originally wanted to flip out because Guoguo ruined her contract. Once she heard that Guoguo suddenly changed the battle line and stood on her side, she immediately changed her attitude towards this little brat. Guoguo is such a cute little princess. If your father had half of your comprehension, he would be 100 times stronger than he is now. Tang Jiu no longer called her little brat, and changed her words without hesitation. Guoguo, Sister Little Jiu feels that you and I are fated. Why don't we become sworn sisters? In the future, I will be your elder sister. If there's anything you need, just tell me. As long as I can help you, I won't hesitate. Guoguo's eyes shone with excitement as she nodded repeatedly. Yes, yes, yes. Sister Little Nine, Guoguo has finally met a close friend. In the future, I will be your blood sister, and I will definitely treat you as my blood sister. The 2 of them really appreciated each other. The power of 100 million was really great. Su Yin was speechless. He looked at the 2 people who were clenching their fists and said, all right. Tang Jiu, you're the one who asked me for this. Guoguo's words are useless. But Guoguo has already signed the contract. Tang Jiu said, this can be established legally. Your daughter's signature is equivalent to your signature. There shouldn't be a problem with this, right? Su Yin waved his hand. Don't try to fool me with the law. Guoguo is only my goddaughter. I have no objections if you become sworn sisters with her and acknowledge me as your godfather. However, this matter has nothing to do with me. Don't try to think of such a good idea. Pfft! Who wants to acknowledge you as my godfather? Tang Jiu glared at him and said, my relationship with Guoguo has nothing to do with you. Anyway, I don't want the hotel anymore. I just want you to do me a favor. Even Guogua knows to agree to such a simple thing, and you're actually rejecting it? Is there something wrong with your brain? Was this the attitude of someone asking for help? Su Yin was really speechless. F***ck, wasn't this too arrogant? Guogua was not to be outdone. She pointed the spearhead at Su Yin. Dad, you really don't know how to appreciate favors. Sister Little Gio asked you for help because she thinks highly of you. Why are you rejecting her? This is not good. The chairman said before that we should learn how to help others. Why don't we help when we can? Besides, Sister Little Gio is so sincere. Haven't you always wanted the Hudong Hotel? She has already delivered it to your door. Don't be so polite. F***ck, who is the one who wants it? Guogua, oh Guogua, even if I don't want to be polite, I can't be defeated so easily by sugar-coated bullets, right? Even if I don't want to be polite, I should at least take a stand. Fence-sitter. Su Yin knew that he had been completely sold out by Guogua. It's you who wants it, right? It doesn't matter who it is. This matter is settled. Guogua had the aura of a family leader. Dad, if Sister Tangju needs anything, just listen to her. I will take care of the hotel with Mom as soon as possible. Ruan Qingshuang directly grabbed Guogua's ear and pulled her aside. She said to Tangjiu apologetically, "Don't take her words seriously. She doesn't know anything. Miss Tang, please don't blame her." Tangjiu smiled like a kind person. "Don't, Sister Qingshuang. Although Guogua and I are sisters, I don't want to call you Mom like her. I'll call you Sister. You can treat me as one of your family in the future." Hey. I say. Why are you randomly calling yourself a relative here? Tangjiu, forget it. I admit defeat. Take back this contract. What do you want me to do for you? Just tell me directly. If I really can't catch up to you, don't blame me. I, Su Yin, will never accept a reward if it's not deserved. Su Yin took a step back and made things clear. Tangjiu finally saw the light of victory. He immediately seized the opportunity. It's very simple. I just want you to pretend to be my boyfriend. Hiss. Everyone gasped. What kind of request was this? Giving a hotel worth 100 million yuan and asking Su Yin to be her boyfriend? Was such a good thing a dream? Many people had been sent to jail because of money and women. Su Yin was good. He kept rejecting, and now someone was giving him money and women. Ruan Qingshuang and Qin Wana looked at each other. They didn't understand what Tangjiu was thinking. Could it be that the rich second generation really liked Su Yin? She wanted to marry into the family with a dowry of 100 million yuan? But if that was the case, then it wasn't an impersonation. What did impersonation mean? Liangshan and Dan Jiahao were very envious. They were all men. Why didn't such a good thing happen to them? Damn, God was too unfair. If this continued, Su Yin could form a team of beautiful girls around him. Chou Yun was never interested in this kind of thing. But after hearing Tangjiu's request, her face darkened. She turned around and left. Guogua was stunned for a long time. Finally, she was the first to speak. She turned her head and looked at Su Yin. She said weakly, "Brother-in-law." She had completely sold out Su Yin. In the past, Ruan Qingshuang did not want Guogua to call Su Yin dad. Now that Guogua had changed the way she addressed him, she felt as if something was missing in her heart. The word brother-in-law sounded particularly awkward. Oh my God! Qin Waner put her hand on her forehead. Sister Qingshuang, Guogua has completely betrayed us. If I knew this little traitor couldn't resist the temptation of the enemy's sugar-coated bullets, I wouldn't have doted on her so much. Su Yin frowned. Tangjiu, you win. Let's not talk about it here. The more we talk, the more misunderstandings there will be. What do you mean by impersonating your boyfriend? I've never done this before. I don't know what to do. If you can explain it clearly, I'll help you. If you can't, then I'm sorry. I can't promise you. Okay, let's not talk about it here. I'll treat you to a drink. Tangjiu said, I'll tell you the details. Whether you help me or not, I'll give this hotel to Sister Guogua. The last sentence was the key. Guogua heaved a sigh of relief in her heart. Originally, she was worried that if her father's negotiation failed, the fat meat in her mouth would fly away again. Let's go. Su Yin laughed. Drink. Come on. If you can really outdrink me, I'll help you. Isn't it just impersonating your boyfriend? I'll make it real. It doesn't matter if I lose out a little. Su Yin and Tang Jiu walked out of the medicinal cuisine restaurant, got into the car, and drove away. Guogua picked up the contract again and pinched the back of her hand. Ouch. Mom, Sister Wan, we're not dreaming. This is real. This contract is legally valid after we sign it. The Hudong International Hotel is really ours. Qin Wana rolled her eyes at Guogua. You sold your father for this hotel. Do you think it's worth it? Guogua nodded vigorously. 100 million. Dad is too valuable. F***ck. Qin Wana was speechless. She didn't mean that. She was saying that she didn't have a sense of justice. She didn't even want Su Yin for a hotel. Sister Wan, I've decided to give you 10% of the shares. Hee, you have to pay more attention to the hotel in the future. Guogua's eyes shone cunningly. Qin Wan was stunned. Then she smiled. Guogua is the best. I didn't expect Su Yin to be so valuable. Sister Wan will always support Guogua. You acted decisively today. You are better than us. Boss Gua, if you need anything in the future, just tell me. Ruan Qingshuang rubbed her temples. Sigh, another money grubber. Headache. Was she really going to exchange Su Yin for this hotel? Liang Shan and Dan Jiahao also gathered around. Even LV when he couldn't help but ask Guogua what position she was going to give her. Guogua had the demeanor of a boss. She waved her chubby hand and said, Brother Shanzi, you will be the head chef of our hotel. You will be in charge of 3,000 people. Little Housie, you will be in charge of the security and logistics department. You will be a manager. But let's make it clear that your salary will not be increased. Sister Wenny, you will be the manager of the service department. Guogua arranged everything neatly. She looked as if she had already gotten the hotel. She had already divided the shares in her heart. She, Ruan Qingshuang, and Chou Yun had to have 60% of the shares. Qin Waner had to have 10%. As for the remaining 30%, she had to give at least 20% to Tang Jiu. After all, Tang Jiu had given it to her. Moreover, they were sworn sisters. 20% was not a lot. Well, as for the remaining 10%, she would give 5% to Su Yin. As for the remaining 5%, she would give one share to each of the 3 tigers of Nanqing and Chang. This was also to make it easier to use their people in the future. Chapter 137. The 9th daughter of the Tang family was naturally generous. She brought Su Yin to the most famous bar in Hudong City, Boiling Point. It was crowded at this time, so Tang Jiu ordered a VIP room that cost at least 20,000 yuan. Su Yin didn't have to pay for it, and Su Yin didn't care. She couldn't eat him anyway. The two of them walked into the private room under the guidance of the waiter. Tang Jiu immediately made a call and went to the bathroom. Su Yin swaggered and sat in the middle of the huge sofa in the huge private room. Colorful lights flashed above his head, making the atmosphere of the private room very lively. The 100-inch monitor on the wall was playing a music video that Su Yin had never heard of. A few enchanting women were constantly twisting and turning. Su Yin felt that it was not as good as the once popular "I'll stuff my anus" horse-riding dance. Tang Jiu walked out of the bathroom and smiled at Su Yin. What do you want to drink? I'm not familiar with this place, so I don't have any. If you don't mind, just order whatever you want. Then give me 24 beers. Any brand is fine. Su Yin waved his hand. The waiter standing at the side was in a dilemma. 24 beers for a room that cost at least 20,000 yuan. This was too unreasonable. At the very least, he should have opened a few bottles of good wine. Tang Jiu saw that the waiter was in a dilemma, so he waved his hand and asked him to leave. Do as he says. I'll tell you what I want later. You can leave now. Bring the beers up immediately. 24 beers were placed on the table. Tang Jiu pointed at them and said to Su Yin, I have good habits. I definitely won't drink at this time, and I definitely won't compete with you in drinking. But today, I'll make an exception to show you my sincerity. If you drink a dozen, I'll drink a dozen. A dozen was equivalent to 12 bottles. Su Yunjin doubted that Tang Jiu's stomach could hold so much alcohol. All right, if you drink me today, I'll agree to your conditions. I won't even ask for the reason. As long as you agree to help me, I'll tell you. As Tangjio spoke, he had already opened all the bottles of wine. He grabbed a large jug on the table and poured 4 bottles into it. He then raised the jug to Su-yin and said, "Let me toast to you first." Seeing Su-yin raise his head and gulp down the beer, Su-yin, of course, was not to be outdone. He took out a bottle of beer and slapped the bottom of the bottle with one hand. The bottle cap popped out with a bang. Su-yin also downed the entire bottle in one gulp. When it came to drinking, a man absolutely could not lose to a woman. Su-yin gulped down bottle after bottle. By the time he finished the 4th bottle, Tangjio's pot was almost empty. "Wow, I didn't expect you to be so good at drinking." Su-yin pouted and asked, "Do you want to continue?" Tangjio poured another 4 bottles of beer into the jug without hesitation. "Of course, drink until you're satisfied." The two drank all the beer in 3 rounds. Su-yin smacked his lips. "This doesn't seem to be satisfying. I didn't expect you to be such a good drinker. Why don't we change to white vodka?" "Same here. Since we're changing, let's change to something more satisfying. If we're going to fight, let's fight to our heart's content." Tangjio pressed the call button in the private room and called the waiter in. "May I ask if you need any other service?" The waiter was surprised when he saw that all the bottles of beer had been emptied. He had seen many good drinkers, but he had never seen anyone drink so quickly. 24 bottles of beer, 2 people, in less than 10 minutes, Su-yin crossed his legs. "Of course I want to drink. Where's the drink list?" Before the waiter passed the drink list to Su-yin, Tangjio directly refused. "No need. Do you have 108 generals here? If you do, we'll have 2 sets. "What the?" The waiter was shocked. There was really no one who dared to drink like this in this day and age. Although their bar did have the 108 generals wine, it was just like many other bars. It was just a decoration. No one would order it at all. Apart from the fact that it was expensive, no one dared to drink it like this. It was really a way of drinking it that could kill. The so-called 108 generals was a tray with 108 200 milliliters glasses, and 108 different types of alcohol were poured into it. It had to be all kinds of alcohol. Williams Case Gold, Royal Salute Whiskey, Remy Martin Cognac were all extremely expensive. Kaufman's Top Vodka, Carolio Tequila, Guizhou Moutai Flying Heaven were all very strong and had high alcohol content. Anyway, none of these were cheap. The entire tray had to be filled with red, white, and yellow. It was definitely a complete collection of alcohol. If a bar wasn't strong enough, it probably wouldn't even have 108 types of alcohol, let alone 108 generals. Of course, the price of this set of alcohol was also ridiculously expensive. There were more than 20 types of alcohol that cost more than 1,000 yuan a bottle, and none of them cost less than 200 or 300 yuan a bottle. Although it was enough to make 2 sets of alcohol, this order was a bit too much. "Miss, you have to pay the moment you open the bottle. If you really want to order, that set of alcohol will cost more than 70,000 yuan." The waiter swallowed his saliva. This was too shocking. 2 people drinking 70,000 yuan worth of alcohol. Couldn't it be banned? He had seen many rich second-generation heirs, but this was the first time he had seen a crazy second-generation heiress. Tangjio glared, and the aura of a rich missy instantly appeared. "Just do as I say. What's with the nonsense? Do you want me to call you manager?" "Yes, yes, yes." Seeing that Tangjio was angry, the waiter hurriedly ran out. This was big news, and he had to tell the manager. Ever since the rise of the 108 generals, no bar had ever sold such a thing. There were many people who competed in drinking, but there were not many who could withstand the 13 guardians, which was a type of strong liquor. Even the very powerful god of wine only dared to try something like the 36 transformations. When the bar manager heard that the other party wanted to drink the 108 generals, he was stunned. He had once seen a man who was known as the god of wine in a large bar in Yanjing. He insisted on drinking a set of spirits called the 81 difficulties, and it was said that he was drunk for 3 days straight. But today, someone actually wanted to drink 108 types of alcohol in this small place. She was simply crazy. Manager, she must be rich. I saw that her bag is LV, and everything she's wearing is also branded, the waiter said. Also, she wants a VIP bag that costs at least 20,000 yuan. She shouldn't be someone who can't afford it. The bar manager glared and slapped the waiter's head. Are you stupid? Now the street stalls are filled with F*King luxury goods. Who knows if it's real or fake? Even if it's real, they'll definitely be drunk. Who the F*CK will pay you if they're drunk? They're crazy, so are you, right? This 108 generals is just for show. Tell them that it's not for sale. Just as the bar manager finished speaking, a gloomy voice came from behind. Not for sale? But it's on your drink list. And the bar manager quickly turned around and looked at the noble young master in front of him. Seeing the four bodyguard-like people behind him, the bar manager quickly understood that a big shot had come to the small shop. He immediately nodded and bowed. I'm sorry, sir. Our place is small and can't stand the torment. If something happens to the customer, we can't afford to take responsibility. The noble young master raised the corner of his mouth and laughed disdainfully. You're afraid that no one will pay, right? Hee, how much is it? I'll buy it for them. You. The bar manager was dumbfounded. Whatever that girl says, you will do. If you can't meet their requirements, then don't blame me for being rude. The noble young master directly took out a card from his pocket and threw it to the bar manager. Swipe an extra 10,000 yuan as a tip for you. Take it as my thanks for letting me find my sister here. The bar manager knew that he had met a rich man. He nodded and bowed. Yes. He turned around and ordered the people behind him. Hurry up and arrange it. 108 generals, don't make a single mistake. Do you understand? Pay attention. The noble young master's face continued to show a gloomy smile. That kind of hidden complacency was as if he had won some kind of big war. The bar staff were busy sending Tang Jiu's 108 generals to the two people in the private room. Suyin was a little dumbfounded. Wasn't this girl too fierce? Was he trying to torture him to death, or was he trying to torture him to death? Each huge tray was carried in by two people. Fortunately, the room Tang Jiu wanted was big enough, and the table was big enough to hold the two trays. Come on, one for you and one for me. Let's not drag each other down. Tang Jiu's face was very calm. You know the rules of drinking. Once it starts, you can't run. You have to finish it. If you're scared now, I'll give you a chance. You can choose to back out. F*CK. When have I ever admitted defeat? Isn't it just a drinking competition? If it's 108, then it's 108. Even if it's 108, I'll accompany you to the end. Suyin made up his mind. He had never lost to anyone in Dragon's Fury since he was young. Today, he definitely couldn't let a girl look down on him. Drink. From the moment Tang Jiu picked up the first glass, Suyin followed suit. The order of the 108 generals was very particular. One strong, one red, one white, one spicy. This cycle was repeated to stimulate the limits of a human's senses. The two of them went head-to-head as soon as they finished their first shot of tequila. Tang Jiu's brows were tightly furrowed. The alcohol had stimulated her muscles and made her tense up. Suyin wasn't any better. He had never drunk like this before. Wasn't it a little too exciting? If he could meet up with his brothers in Dragon's Fury again, he would definitely let them try this drinking method and see how many people he could drink. Just as the two of them finished the last glass of wine at the same time, the door of the private room was pushed open, and four burly men in black walked in. Behind the four burly men was a rich young master dressed in branded clothes. Suyin was slightly startled. Did he enter the wrong room? Or did Tang Jiu invite someone else? Chapter 138. It was none other than the person who had asked the manager to serve them alcohol. Tang Jiu and this person clearly knew each other. Not only did they know each other, but they were also quite familiar with each other. This handsome man was Tang Jiu's cousin, Tang Yifei. He was ranked second in the fourth generation of the Tang family, and was also Tang Jiu's second brother. He was the one who had the upper hand in the internal strife of the Tang family, and was also the one who was valued the most. If he brought the drunk Tang Jiu back to the Tang family, he would like to see how Tang Jingtian would explain himself. Although Tang Jingtian was the third-generation head of the Tang family, if his daughter failed to live up to expectations, he would still have to entrust the Tang family to his nephew. Furthermore, his little sister Jiu had gotten drunk with a wild man. This was going to be a good show. Haha. Not only did he want to bring little sister Jiu back, he also wanted to bring this wild man back. He wanted Tang Jingtian to see what good things his daughter had done in the past few days after leaving Jibei City. He had used a lot of connections to get information about Tang Jiu's license plate in Hudong City. He didn't expect his luck to be so good that his little brother would discover Tang Jiu's whereabouts as soon as he came to Hudong City. However, Tang Yifei didn't understand why his elegant little sister would come to a bar and get drunk with a little hooligan. Second brother, what are you doing here? Tang Jiu's alcohol tolerance was obviously terrifying. She could still speak after drinking 108 glasses of various kinds of alcohol. Su Yin was relieved when he heard that it was Tang Jiu's brother. At least he wasn't someone who would cause trouble. He closed his eyes and rested for a while. It was really satisfying to drink 108 glasses of alcohol in one go. He needed to catch his breath. Tang Yifei frowned and pointed at Su Yun. He said to Tang Jiu, "Little Jiu, who is this man? Why did you come to Hudong City from Jibei City to hang out with a wild man like this without making a sound? Look at yourself. Don't you look like a lady from a respectable family?" Although Su Yun's eyes were closed, she could still hear everything clearly. "What the hell? What do you mean by a wild man? I'm also a person of status. I'm not wearing slippers today. You don't have to look down on me like this, do you?" When Tang Jiu heard Tang Yifei yelling at her, of course, she was unhappy. "What do you care what I do? My dad hasn't even taken care of me yet. What right do you have to yell at me? Second brother, I'm afraid that the Tang family isn't yours yet, right?" Tang Yifei's face paled at Tang Jiu's words. He didn't expect this girl's alcohol tolerance to be so terrifying. Although her mind was in a mess after drinking so much, she could still speak so soberly. If it wasn't for her apparent drunkenness, Tang Yifei would have suspected that she had drunk 108 cups of water and not wine. "Come home with me right now. And this wild man, I have to bring him back and let Uncle Tang see what kind of man his precious daughter is hanging out with. Let the Tang family see how they can hand over the Tang family to you without worry," Tang Yifei said angrily. Then he waved his hand and said to the 4 people behind him, "Take them away and tie up the man." Su Yin yawned with his eyes closed. He didn't care if the other party was Tang Jiu's second brother. As long as they dared to touch him, he would make them look for their teeth on the ground. "Don't you dare." Tang Jiu suddenly slammed the table. "He's my man. Don't you dare touch him." "What the hell?" Su Yin broke out in cold sweat. As the saying goes, the truth is revealed after drinking. This girl couldn't be serious, right? But thinking about it, whether it was a game or a real game, he, Su Yin, wouldn't be at a disadvantage. Playing a fake relationship with the second generation of the provincial capital, Northern Ji Province? How melodramatic. The sneer on Tang Yifei's face became even more obvious. "Little Jiu, you better remember what you said just now. When you go back, tell everyone in the Tang family what you found. Let everyone see what kind of man you found." Tang Jiu's head buzzed. The alcohol had already given her a splitting headache. "It's up to me what kind of man I find. But the man I find must be someone who can help the Tang family. That's enough. That way, I can prove that I can carry the Tang family on my shoulders. That way I can prove. I. After saying that, Tang Jiu directly lay down on the sofa. The stimulation of more than 100 types of alcohol made her completely lose consciousness. Even if she had the legendary capacity to drink, in the end, there was no way she could beat this perverted method of drinking. Tang Yifei couldn't be bothered to listen to Tang Jiu's words. To him it was a declaration of war. There was an unspoken rule in the Tang family. If Tang Jiu could find a capable other half and prove her ability, the 4th generation of the Tang family would still be in Tang Jingtian's hands. However, if Tang Jiu was unable to do so, then the Tang family would have to elect another person to be the 4th generation head of the Tang family. There were many candidates for this position because other than Tang Jiu, The 8 people above her were all older brothers, and the one who was most eager for quick success was the second brother, Tang Yifei. Send Miss Jiu to my car. Tang Yifei frowned. Wait. Su Yun, who had been resting with his eyes closed, finally stood up. He couldn't let anyone take Tang Jiu away. No matter what, Tang Jiu had just admitted that he was her man. Whether it was true or not, he had the responsibility of being her man. Even if the person in front of him was Tang Jiu's second brother, he couldn't take her away with just a few words. Tang Yifei looked at Su Yun in shock. He couldn't help but sigh. It was unbelievable that he could still stand up after drinking 108 types of alcohol. However, no matter how much he could drink, he couldn't escape the arrangement of fate. You don't have to care about Miss Jiu. Tie that man up and throw him into the car. I'll take care of Miss Jiu. Tang Yifei spoke directly. The 4 bodyguards in black immediately surrounded Su Yun. They all thought that Su Yun was a drunk man and didn't have any vigilance. Su Yun suddenly sneered. I'll tell you guys. Whoever takes a step forward, I'll beat him until he looks for his teeth on the ground. Tang Yifei snorted coldly. He thought to himself, this is really a scoundrel who can't stand on the stage. Of course, the 4 bodyguards wouldn't believe the words of a drunk man. When the first person grabbed Su Yun's arm, he suddenly felt a gust of wind. Then he felt a sharp pain in his mouth and nose. He flew out with a cry. Everything happened too suddenly. The other 3 didn't even see what the other party had done. Their companion's mouth was full of blood. He opened his mouth and slapped his front teeth. They were actually knocked out. Tang Yifei's face was filled with shock. The 4 people he brought were all very good at fighting. How could they not even be able to deal with a scoundrel? Go. Tie him up for me. Yes, sir. The 3 of them said in unison and pounced on Su Yun. A huge pressure exploded from Su Yun's body, like a 10,000-mile-long river gushing out endlessly. Just as the 3 of them were about to pounce on him, Su Yun's figure flashed in front of the 3 of them. Then, the 3 of them were also hit in the face by the fist that contained endless explosive power. Ah! After a few screams, the 4 bodyguards that Tang Yifei brought with him were lying on the ground. Just as Tang Yifei was still in shock, Su Yun had already walked in front of him. He took Tang Jiu from Tang Yifei's hands and said to him, I told your men that if anyone dares to touch me, I'll make them look for their teeth on the ground. It's not that I don't care, it's that they don't listen. I'm sorry. Tang Yifei's face was filled with shock. He gritted his teeth and said, Bastard, do you know who I am? Put Tang Jiu down immediately, and come back to the Tang family with me. Ahem, you're from Jibei, right? If I give you face, I can call you second brother like Tang Jiu. If I don't give you face, I can just call you grandson. Su Yun said unhappily, I don't care how much face you have in Jibei, but this is Hudong. In Hudong my face is worth more than yours, understand? Tang Yifei had been the hero of the Tang family since he was young. At home, in school, and in society, he had never lost face anywhere. But today, such a scoundrel dared to point at his face and call him father. It was a great humiliation. Where's the waiter? Ask your manager to get the security guards here. Someone is causing trouble here. Tang Yifei saw that his useless men were done for, so he could only ask the bar for help. The bar manager heard him and immediately rushed over with his men. Tang Yifei was someone who had spent at least 100,000 yuan. Of course he had to treat him well. Hey, who made you so angry? The bar manager hurriedly ran over to appease Tang Yifei. Tang Yifei pointed at Su Yun and said, Do you see this person? He's causing trouble. He even beat up my men and got my sister drunk. I want you to give me an explanation. How dare he? How dare he cause trouble in my place? The bar manager turned around and shouted at Su Yun. Who are you? Where are you from? Su Yun touched his chin and said calmly, Su Yun from the Wenhui district. I work for Sister Shuang. Su Yun? The bar manager was stunned. Why did the name sound so familiar? Suddenly, Su Yun lifted his leg and kicked the 3-seater leather sofa 5 to 6 meters away. You've never heard of Sister Shuang's name? How dare you open a bar? The bar manager suddenly realized. He looked at Su Yun in horror. This was his boss. He couldn't afford to offend him. Sister Shuang stood at the top of Hudong City's underground forces. What kind of person did he offend? His ancestors really didn't have enough good karma. Brother Yin, why didn't you tell me you were coming to my place? Oh brother, I'm so damned. The bar manager nodded and bowed. He wanted to slap his own mouth. Su Yin ignored him and said, "Don't try to get close to me. I'm leaving now. Arrange for someone to drive me." Yes, yes, yes. The bar manager nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. Tang Yifei knew he was done for. He didn't expect this scoundrel to be a famous tyrant in Hudong City. Tang Jiu was actually with this kind of person. He was hopeless. After the bar manager sent Su Yin off, he quickly turned around and apologized to Tang Yifei. "Young man, we really can't afford to offend Brother Yin. You don't look like a local. Please don't offend Brother Yin." Chapter 139. Of course, Tang Yifei would not give up after suffering such a huge setback in Hudong City. Sooner or later, he would settle the score with them in Jibei City. He wanted to see what the hooligan could do after leaving Hudong City. If he wanted to bully Tang Yifei, he would have to see if he had a long life ahead of him. The driver arranged by the bar manager was trembling as he drove. Of course, he was nervous. The most powerful person in Hudong City was sitting next to him. "Find a hotel with a parking lot in Wenhui District and drop us off. Then you can take a taxi back." As Su Yin spoke, he took out 100 yuan from Tang Jiu's wallet and handed it to the young driver. "There's no change. Just take it as a bargain." It was not that Su Yin was unwilling to pay, but he did not bring any money with him. Since he and Tang Jiu were pretending to be a couple, spending some money from her was not a big deal. After arriving at the hotel, the young man took the 100 yuan and thanked Big Brother Yin more than 10 times. Only when Su Yin couldn't stand his dawdling and scolded him to get lost did he quickly turn around and run for his life. Su Yin carried Tang Jiu on his shoulder and walked straight into the hotel. He did not dare to bring a drunk Tang Jiu back to the medicinal cuisine restaurant. That night, Ruan Qingshuang and the others would not be able to sleep well. Guogua was such a righteous person. If she knew that he had drunk her good sister to this extent, she would definitely fight him to the death. Su Yin thought about it several times before deciding not to return to the medicinal cuisine house. Instead, he took Tang Jiu and stayed out for the night. Although Tang Jiu did not have any reaction now, her stomach would probably not be able to take it after being tossed around by the wind. He would have a lot of trouble waiting on her. She might vomit until she turned the world upside down. "Hurry up, get a room," Su Yin shouted as soon as he entered. The receptionist on duty was worried when she saw a man with a drunk girl. However, she did not dare to offend such a person. After all, the girl deserved to be taken advantage of. Drinking so much in the middle of the night meant that she was not a good girl. She hurriedly said, "Sir, which room do you want?" "The price." "Cut the crap. Give me the best one," Su Yin said as he took out Tang Jiu's wallet and ID card from his bag. When the receptionist on duty saw this, she really despised Su Yin in her heart. A big man got a girl drunk to get a room, and even used her money. He was really shameless. Of course, she could only curse in her heart. She definitely didn't dare to say it out loud to Su Yin. Su Yin took the room card and led Tang Jiu upstairs, ignoring the puzzled look on the receptionist's face. After the two of them entered the house, Tang Jiu woke up a little. The moment she was put down by Su Yin, she hurriedly covered her mouth. Seeing this, Su Yin quickly picked her up and walked to the bathroom. As he walked, he muttered to himself, "You have to hold it in. If you vomit in someone else's room, I won't clean it." When Tang Jiu hugged the toilet bowl, he couldn't hold it in any longer. His stomach was filled with more than 100 different kinds of alcohol. Tang Jiu felt so uncomfortable that he wanted to puke out his stomach. "Vomit. Vomit as hard as you can." Su Yin ignored her and went straight to the bed. Then he turned on the TV. Girls don't learn good things. This time, she drank until she learned not to drink for the rest of her life. Su Yin's goal was to change her in one go. Tang Jiu vomited in the bathroom for an hour. When her stomach was emptied, she finally woke up and felt much better. At that moment, there was a knock on the door. Then someone said in a serious tone, "The police are here to check the room." F***ck. Soo-Yin was stunned. What time is it? Is there something wrong with the people in the police station? When Soo-Yin opened the door, a few policemen rushed in. Although Soo-Yin could easily deal with them, he didn't want to cause trouble for Chinwon. So he didn't do anything. The receptionist on duty also followed behind the police officer, chattering nonstop. That's right, he's a suspicious person. The lady he brought with him was completely drunk and unconscious. As soon as she finished speaking, Tangjio walked out of the bathroom. Who's unconscious? Are you crazy? You called the police when I checked into a room with my man? The receptionist on duty was stunned. Her kindness was treated as ill intent. If she knew this would happen, she wouldn't have meddled in other people's business. Where's your marriage certificate? The people in the police station weren't to be trifled with. I suspect that there's an improper transaction between you two. Do you have a marriage certificate when you check into a room with your wife? Do unmarried couples nowadays have a marriage certificate when they check into a room? Tangjio said aggressively. You better not talk nonsense. You suspect that I'm a prostitute, right? Let me tell you. Even if we have an improper transaction, I'm paying for it. Soo-Yin was held down by a few policemen and finally said, Brother, you look familiar. Are you Xiao Wu? A young policeman was stunned and immediately recognized Soo-Yin. You are Brother Yin who was with Sister Wan. Yeah. Why is it you? Brother, it's not easy for me and my little girlfriend to check into a room. You guys. Soo-Yin smiled. We're not outsiders, right? We must have made a mistake. Xiao Wu hurriedly said to the few people. This is Sister Wan'er's friend. He's definitely not that kind of person. Go. We're just spoiling their fun. Xiao Wu urged everyone to leave. At the same time, he scolded the receptionist who called the police. He said that she didn't know the situation and spoke nonsense. Soo-Yin thanked him as he sent Xiao Wu out. After closing the door, he was relieved. He saw that Tangjio had sobered up a lot after washing her face. He smiled slightly. Drink less next time. It's not good for a girl to drink too much. Don't you want me to drink too much? The smile on Tangjio's face was unnatural. She thought about what happened in the morning. She thought about the naked woman in Soo-Yin's room. That was why her smile was unnatural. Soo-Yin frowned. What do you mean? I should be the one asking you that. Tangjio smiled. That smile was so calm that it didn't even look like a smile. I finally know what you want. Don't you like women? Okay, if you want me, I can give myself to you. But you have to give me a definite answer. You have to help me. Soo-Yin also smiled. Do you really think I'm that kind of person? Tangjio sneered. What kind of person is that? Soo-Yin, I know that you're not an ordinary person. I know that you're an expert and not an ordinary expert. I need your help. Only then can I make the Tang family not dare to complain about me. I don't want the world that my father fought for to be divided by them. Each and every one of them is useless, but they're always thinking about how to get more family property. Okay, I understand what you mean. Soo-Yin smiled. Isn't it just pretending to be your man? You can make the fake become real, hee. Tangjio still had a cold smile on his face. Don't you want the fake to become real? Okay, if you want, I can give it to you. Not only can I give you my body, but I can also guarantee that I, Tangjio, will keep my body like jade. I'm definitely not that kind of rotten woman. Soo-Yin suddenly felt that there was something wrong with Tangjio's tone. Was this guy angry with him or what? As she spoke, Tangjio suddenly took off the thin shirt on her body, revealing her snow-white body that was only wearing her underwear. That slender waist seemed like it would break with a single pinch, and her voluptuous breasts revealed a seductive cleavage under the cover of her underwear. His cleavage was really strong. Soo-Yin couldn't help but smack his lips. But this happiness came too suddenly, didn't it? What kind of person do you think I am? Soo-Yin smiled bitterly. Although I'm not a good person, I'm definitely not the kind of guy who takes advantage of people when they're weak. Although Tangjio hesitated for a moment, he still couldn't help but say, But didn't you bring me to the hotel for this purpose? I know very well what you men say and think. Soo-Yin, I think you're a straightforward person, so you don't have to pretend in front of me. Pretend? Su-yin was so angry that he almost rolled his eyes. If I push you down on the ground right now, then I'm not pretending? Tangjio, clear your head. I brought you to the hotel because there's no place for you to vomit and take a hot bath. You're thinking too much. Tangjio didn't believe that a man wouldn't be interested in her. He still sneered. Hee hee, you're quite romantic. You want a hot bath, right? Sure, I'll go take a bath. You can come in whenever you want. I'll wait for you. After saying that, Tangjio really went straight into the bathroom. The bathroom here was made of pure frosted glass. Tangjio didn't lock the door and directly changed in the bathroom. Su-yin saw all of this outside. What the hell? This is really a very severe test for a man. Su-yin cursed in his heart. This damned girl is really vicious. If I don't go in, what's the difference between that and saying that I'm not a man? In the face of this kind of provocation and seduction, other than Lu Xiaohui and the eunuchs, Su-yin believed that no man in the world could endure it. Tangjio stood directly under the hot water pipe and turned on the hot water. The sound of running water tickled Su-yin more than anything else. If it weren't for the super strong willpower that he trained in Dragon's Fury, Su-yin would have already taken off his pants and rushed in. A real man should act like a real man. If he rushed in at this time, he would be taking advantage of her and would be no different from a beast. Although Su-yin was also a young man with raging hormones, he was definitely not the kind of animal that would get horny at the sight of the opposite sex. The moment Tangjio turned on the shower, tears flowed down her cheeks. She knew that she would lose something by doing this, but she would rather sacrifice herself than see everything that her father worked hard for the Tang family fall into the hands of her cousins. Chapter 140. A month ago, at the Tang family's gathering, Tangjio's uncles from the third generation raised the issue of who would take over the position of the next head of the Tang family. This was the most difficult problem for Tang Jingtian to face. Although the Tang family didn't have a rule that only males could inherit the position, there was no precedent for this. Moreover, there were many things in the Tang family that girls couldn't handle. This was also the bargaining chip of Tangjio's uncles. Tang Jingtian's body was gradually unable to handle the heavy workload of the Tang family, so the choice of the next head of the Tang family was very urgent. When Tang Jingtian proposed that Tangjio take over, there were immediately more doubts. Tang Jingtian had no choice but to agree to a condition. If Tangjio wanted to shoulder the burden of the Tang family, he had to find the other half who could handle the situation. Otherwise, many of the Tang family's businesses would have to be handed over to Tangjio's cousins. In other words, the Tang family would face the danger of splitting apart for the first time. During Tangjio's grandfather's generation, the Tang family had been in decline for a long time due to the country's economic situation. After the reform and opening up, Tang Jingtian had revived the Tang family on his own and gradually strengthened it to its current state. It could be said that without Tang Jingtian, there wouldn't be the Tang family today. The Tang family was built by Tang Jingtian himself. Because of their blood relationship, Tang Jingtian took special care of Tangjio's uncles, which was why the rest of the Tang family were able to become what they were today. He never thought that these people would want to split the Tang family after he fell seriously ill. Tang Jingtian didn't hide anything from Tangjio and explained everything clearly. Tangjio was about to get angry, but she didn't think that her uncles and cousins would quickly take over her and her father's position in the Tang family. The experts of the Tang family were all convinced, so Tangjio felt that they had been planning this for a long time. Although they didn't lack anything in the Tang family, Tangjio knew very well what they lacked. They lacked power. In the Tang family, Tang Jingtian's words were the law. They were just a bunch of parasites. So they had enough and wanted to split the Tang family after Tang Jingtian fell seriously ill. The 4 generations of the Tang family had gone through all kinds of ups and downs in the past 100 years. The only thing that had never changed was that they would always be a big family. If the separation was successful, it would mean that the Tang family would no longer exist. Although Tangjio usually had no interest in the family's affairs, she still realized the seriousness of the matter when the Tang family was facing a real threat. Tang Jiu remembered his father Tang Jingtian's words very clearly. He said that only by bringing glory to his ancestors would he have the face to face his ancestors in the Yellow Springs. Although he had led the Tang clan to its peak, if he were to split from the Tang clan in his hands, he would not be able to die in peace. Because of his father's words, Tang Jiu swore that he would never let the Tang family be destroyed. He absolutely could not let his father die with grievances and face the ancestors of the Tang family without a word. Tang Jingtian knew his precious daughter's personality very well, so he wouldn't force her to be with a man who had no fate with her just for the Tang family. But Tang Jiu told her that she was willing to make any sacrifice for the Tang family. After that, Tang Jiu disappeared from the Tang family. They couldn't wait to get an answer that Tang Jiu gave up. That was why Tang Yifei chased after her from so far away. Tang Yifei's ambition was much greater than his brother's. He didn't want the Tang family to split. He wanted to become the fourth-generation successor of the Tang family. Of course, only he knew this. Tang Jiu stood under the cold water. Although the alcohol gave her a terrible headache, it also made her more and more clear-headed. She knew that the Tang family was in danger. Tang Jiu knew that the man outside was the only hope to save her and the Tang family. Finally, Tang Jiu made up her mind and wiped herself clean. She wrapped herself in a towel and walked out of the bathroom with gritted teeth. PFFF. Su Yun, who had just poured himself a cup of water, almost choked to death. What was that poem again? Spring cold bestowed a bath in the Huaqing pool. The hot spring water cleansed and congealed. The servant lifted up the delicate and weak body, the time to receive the grace. Su Yun couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Tang Jiu, do you really want me to commit a crime? If I don't teach you a lesson, you'll really think that I castrated myself by practicing the sunflower manual? Yo girl, do you really want to give yourself to me? Then show some sincerity. What's the point of wrapping yourself in a towel? Isn't that too insincere? Su Yun looked Tang Jiu up and down. He originally thought that a rich young miss like Tang Jiu would be extremely selfish. He really didn't expect her to make such a huge sacrifice for something. It seemed that his father and the Tang family were really very important to Tang Jiu. As soon as Su Yun finished speaking, Tang Jiu directly untied the towel. The towel fell off Tang Jiu's smooth and glossy skin without any hesitation. Su Yun's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. He was just joking. He didn't expect Tang Jiu to take it seriously. What was this girl so serious about? What was she so stubborn about? After all, Tang Jiu was a girl. Although she would never lack suitors, she had never taken the initiative to give herself to any of them. Su Yun was the first man to make her do this, and that was because Tang Jiu felt that only Su Yun could help her. Otherwise, she definitely wouldn't casually reveal her body in front of a man. Su Yun naturally could tell that Tang Jiu wasn't one of those green tea b** cheese. She must have her own difficulties and reasons for doing this. It seemed that she really needed his help. Alright, hurry up and put it on. Now that we've met each other openly, I'll definitely help you to the end. Su Yun wasn't a black-hearted person. Tang Jiu had already gone this far. If he still didn't say something, then he would be too much of a jerk. Tang Jiu was slightly startled. Are you serious? Look at my eyes. Do I look like I'm lying? Su Yun pointed at his eyes. However, his eyes unconsciously slid down Tang Jiu's face and finally stopped at Tang Jiu's chest. Tang Jiu, do you really think I'm not a man? Don't challenge my limits, okay? Although Tang Jiu was very embarrassed to be so open with a man, she had already made a decision. She didn't regret it. Isn't this what you want? I don't have any bargaining chips. I can only offer myself as a thank you gift for helping me. F***ck, I can't take it anymore. Su Yun made up his mind and immediately punished her on the spot. After all, Tang Jiu delivered herself to him. He wasn't the one who forced himself on her. If he didn't eat the duck that was delivered to his mouth, it wouldn't be in line with his logic as a man. Just as the demon's thoughts were about to rise, another voice said, if we really do it now, it will definitely be taking advantage of others' difficulties. Su Yunjong is not a person who takes advantage of others' difficulties. Whether it is this or other matters, this is a matter of principle. The struggle between the angel and the demon made it difficult for Soo-yun to make a choice. To be a man with principles who wasn't a man, or to be a man with principles who wasn't a man. This choice was too difficult, wasn't it? Didn't you say that you wanted to make the act real? Tangjio said firmly. As long as you can give me what I want, I will definitely give you what you want. This is a deal between us, isn't it? Soo-yun smiled bitterly. Then if the deal doesn't work out, will you still be benevolent and righteous? Tangjio glared at him. Of course not. I can let you touch me only, because you can help me. If that's the case, I won't touch you. I don't like this bite. If we want to eat, we'll eat it willingly. Didn't they say that a forced melon isn't sweet? If you're not willing, then it's a deal. If it's not consensual, then it's meaningless. Soo-yun shrugged and turned his head away. He was really afraid that if he continued to look, he wouldn't be able to hold it in anymore. Tangjio frowned deeply. Then what do you want? If something happens between the two of us today and I can't help you, then wouldn't I be eating a free meal? Hee, Tangjio, I officially agree to help you, but I don't want the reward first. When you're willing to give yourself to me, I won't stop you. The smile on Soo-yun's face was as bad as it could be, but in Tangjio's eyes he looked like a gentleman. Tangjio still suspected that she was dreaming. She asked again. Is what you said true? Soo-yun? You're really willing to help me? But you and that woman in the morning. I really don't understand you now. You helped that girl's arm, and then that girl and you. Are you talking about this kind of deal? First of all, I didn't do anything in the morning. I just wanted to learn how to help others. As for whether you believe me or not, that's up to you. Next, I always keep my word. Soo-yun. If you don't believe me, then pretend I didn't say anything. I'll just leave. Suddenly, Tangjio pounced on Soo-yun and hugged Soo-yun. Her eyes were filled with tears. Soo-yun had finally confirmed it, and the stone in her heart was finally lifted. She didn't know what to say to thank him. At this moment, she just wanted to hug this man who gave her endless hope. However, she was so emotional that she didn't care about Soo-yun's reaction at all. Soo-yun saw a white ball pouncing on him, and then two plump and bouncy water balls pressing on his chest. That feeling. Tsk. It was indescribable. When Tangjio felt something poking at him, he suddenly realized his current appearance. Chapter 141. Tangjio suddenly blushed shyly and quickly left Soo-yun. Then she quickly wrapped herself tightly with a bath towel. Her voice also became shy. Soo-yun, you're so annoying. This shout made Soo-yun feel numb. He almost surrendered. All right, I think I'd better ask for another room. No need. I know you're not that kind of person. You won't do anything with just one room, Tangjio said lightly. Soo-yun smiled bitterly and thought, don't you know what it means to be beastly? That's not something that human nature can control. Let's sleep. I'm sleepy. Tangjio was really bold. After saying that, she directly lay down next to Soo-yun. Then, she turned off the light and said softly, Soo-yun, thank you very much. Soo-yun smiled bitterly in his heart. What does this mean? Let's sleep. Her words were too good to be true. Whether it was sleeping together in terms of time or sleeping together in terms of behavior, her words were incisive and vivid. But in the end, the most important thing was to sleep together, not to do anything else. Sigh, there's only one bed here. Soo-yun shook his head helplessly. Tangjio, oh Tangjio, you really think I'm someone who can't do anything? Anyway, no one else knows about this. I'm not afraid of being scolded for not being a man. Tangjio, are you really not afraid that I'll do something? Soo-yun turned his head and asked with a smile. The answer he got in return was a soft gasp full of tiredness. In the blink of an eye, Tangjio had actually fallen asleep on the bed. Soo-yun really wanted to pull her up and ask her why she was so assured. Why wasn't she afraid that he would really eat her up? To put it nicely, this was trust. To put it bluntly, she didn't treat him as a man. Forget it. She has given me so much trust. If I disappoint her, it would be too damaging. Soo-yun did not know how deep the waters of the Tang family were. He thought that it was just a matter of pretending to be a couple for a few days. Su-yin had also considered that this matter wasn't that simple. After all, if it was something a normal person could do, Tang Jio wouldn't even need to ask anyone to do it. The number of people who wanted to be her man was definitely more than the number of people in the Special Forces Brigade, right? After drinking the wine, Su-yin also felt quite good. Seeing that Tang Jio was sleeping so soundly, he also got up and took a shower to reduce the smell of alcohol on his body. After that, he returned to the bed. Although there was a sofa in the room, he couldn't take advantage of her. Su-yin more or less wanted to take advantage of her. He could just sleep on the bed and do nothing. If Su-yin had known that he would not have any descendants when he woke up, he would not have taken advantage of her even if he was beaten to death. Tang Jio woke up early in the morning and forgot what happened last night. When she saw Su-yin sleeping beside her, she was instantly stunned. After all, she drank too much last night and couldn't react in time. Tang Jio couldn't be blamed for this. Who asked Su-yin to set up his little tent so early in the morning? Although Tang Jio had never done anything between a man and a woman, she knew that this reaction of a man meant that he was up to no good. At that moment she kicked him. The unprepared Su-yin instantly felt his crotch tighten. F***ck. This sneak attack was too ruthless. It was directly a killer move. Su-yin was kicked off the bed by Tang Jio. He held his crotch and the word pain in the balls was written all over his face. Are you crazy? Su-yin almost flipped out on the spot. This person was really F***king crazy. Yesterday, she insisted on marrying him. Today, she turned hostile early in the morning, and he didn't even do anything. If he had really done something yesterday, wouldn't he have been killed by a sharp knife this morning? Tang Jio was immediately awakened by Su-yin's roar. She stared innocently at Su-yin, who was on the ground. Is there something wrong with you? Where did you kick this early in the morning? F***ck. If my future wife knew about this, she would definitely fight you to the death. Su-yin grimaced in pain. This kick that came out of nowhere was a little too ruthless. Tang Jio was still looking at Su-yin in shock. She wrapped the blanket tightly around herself and said anxiously, "Why are you here? Where is this? Where did you bring me to?" Su-yin was speechless. He was still grimacing in pain. You're really forgetful. You don't even know who I am. Yesterday, weren't you the one who insisted on drinking with me? If I didn't stop you, you would have been brought back to Ji-Bay by your second brother. I told you to get another room, and you said there was no need. F***ck. Are you going to deny everything now? Tang Jio's head buzzed. She only started to recall the events of yesterday. She did indeed drink with Su-yin without any regard for her life. Each of them drank a portion of the 108 generals that could kill. Tang Jio also remembered that her second brother, Tang Yifei, had appeared. However, she didn't know how Tang Yifei left. She only remembered that she said she didn't want to leave, but Tang Yifei insisted on taking her away. After that, she couldn't remember anything else. The only thing she remembered was what happened in the hotel. She recalled Su-yin's gentlemanly behavior yesterday, and immediately blushed. Why would a gentleman have such a perverted reaction in the morning? Only perverts would have such a reaction. I'm sorry. I don't have anyone beside me when I sleep, so I'm really not used to it. I'm really sorry. Sorry? Su-yin forced himself to sit on the bed. If I grabbed your breasts and apologized to you, would you forgive me? It's easy to say. Those are my lifeblood. I really didn't do it on purpose. I didn't know that you would sleep on the same bed as me. Of course I'm scared, Tang Jio said. Su-yin was speechless. You were the one who said we could sleep in one room. Tang Jio saw that Su-yin wasn't going to let it go. She rolled her eyes and said, I said we could sleep in one room, but I didn't say we could sleep in one bed. Are there any other beds in this room? Su-yin pointed around and said, Take a good look. Are there any other beds in this room other than this one? Isn't there a sofa here? Tang Jio whispered. Su-yin nodded. Fine. You're amazing. I'm impressed, okay? From today onwards, you go your own way, and I'll go mine. We won't interfere with each other. How about this? I'm impressed. Tang Jio was unhappy when she heard this. No. You promised me yesterday that you would help me. Why didn't you forget about that? Soo-Yun really wanted to vomit blood. It turned out that he hadn't forgotten everything that had happened yesterday. She hadn't forgotten her promise to be his slave, but she had forgotten everything that had happened after she went to bed. She was really something. Do you have to be so calculative with a girl like me? Isn't it just a kick? What's the big deal? Tangjio stuck out her tongue. I've already apologized. It's already happened. What else can I do? At most, I'll treat you to roast lamb tonight. Is that okay? Soo-Yun immediately decided. 2 skewers. Tangjio didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This guy was too easy to deal with. She could only agree. Okay. Soo-Yun's crotch pain finally subsided. He pointed at his clothes that were caught in the blanket that Tangjio rolled up and said, "What's wrong? Haven't you seen enough? Can you give me back my pants first?" Tangjio's face turned red. She scolded, "Turn your head. I'll change my clothes first. Then I'll go get them for you." Soo-Yun stood up and walked to the bathroom under Tangjio's stunned gaze. When Soo-Yun's figure disappeared, Tangjio suddenly realized that all the clothes she took off yesterday were in the laundry basket in the bathroom. No. Tangjio exclaimed in her heart. Her underwear was also in there. If Soo-Yun saw this, how embarrassing would that be? Tangjio's face instantly turned red. What should she do? However, Soo-Yun didn't give Tangjio a chance to breathe. He directly took her clothes, including her underwear, out of the bathroom and threw them on the bed. At the same time, he laughed evilly. "Yo, not bad. I couldn't tell that you were the legendary G-Cup." Tangjio's eyes widened. If it were anyone else, she would have already flipped out. However, when Soo-Yun said that, she felt a special kind of shyness all over her body. Other than her face turning red, there was nothing else left. Tangjio, who had always been fearless, actually showed the shyness of a little girl at a time like this. If she told her father, Tang Jingtian probably wouldn't believe her. "You're blushing? It can't be, right?" Soo-Yun didn't intend to stop teasing Tangjio. They all say that big breasts are brainless. Don't think that I'm praising you. I'm insulting you. What's there to be embarrassed about? Soo-Yun. Tangjio's face turned even redder. She scolded. "You bastard. I'm going to kill you." Soo-Yun hooked his finger. "Come, I'll just stand here. Don't talk about killing me. You don't even dare to get off the bed, right?" Facing the naked Tangjio, of course, Soo-Yun wasn't afraid at all. Tangjio gritted her teeth and glared at Soo-Yun. She squeezed out a few words. "Soo-Yun, you'd better turn around. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death." Soo-Yun waved his hand indifferently. He turned around and sat down. "I've seen what I wanted to see last night. I don't care anymore. You'd better hurry up and get dressed. I still have to go back to the medicinal cuisine house to take a look. Since I promised to help you, I'll definitely go with you to Ji-Bay. Although I'm in a hurry to go back, I think it's better to deal with the Hudong City International Hotel first." Tangjio smiled. "Guo already signed yesterday. I'll arrange for someone to transfer the hotel directly to you. Consider it my compensation for borrowing people." Although Soo-Yun guessed that the Tang family had a big business, he was still a little surprised by Tangjio's generosity. "I'm not worth that much money." "No, you're worth it," Tangjio said. "Originally, I bought the Hudong City International Hotel as a backup plan for me and my dad. I originally thought that if I couldn't protect the Tang family, I'd bring my dad here to retire. Obviously, I don't need it anymore, so it's best to give it to you." Soo-Yun smiled faintly. "Then do as you please. In any case, your sworn sister won't be polite to you." That you're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.